It began in innocence
I'm here for the garden.
and grew quickly from there.
You know, James is pretty smooth.
Are you coming up, Luce? There you go. Jackie, I know is very, very pleased.
Soon others knew.
Anyway, the neighbors are coming up and they're saying, what is this?
You know, I can be myself with her.
And reason to celebrate was just around the corner.
Here we are at Jackie's backyard.
Nice.
Hi, I'm James. I'm a landscape designer, and I'm off to see my next client, Jackie.
It's always you're anticipating, your mind's racing at what sort of things you're going to be getting into, and it's all sort of a great big ball of questions.
About 6 months ago, my partner and I decided that we would move in together. So we bought this house.
Along with the house came the tangled yard.
Oh, who's coming?
That would be yours truly.
James, hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, you've got
Welcome.
a gorgeous house here.
Thank you.
But I'm here for the garden.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Well, come on in. This is
Great.
Lucy.
Hey, Lucy. What's up?
Lucy James.
Hi, Lucy. Lucy, come on out and show us the yard.
Yeah. This is Lucy's yard.
Lucy,
It's
what do you think?
Lucy says,
Wow.
well, you know, it's a little overgrown.
Oh, you know what, though? Right away, I think we take down that maple to open it up.
I love that tree. That tree must stay.
Just kidding. I love it. It's so beautiful. It's like the anchor, the focal of this whole place.
Here's the first thing.
Yeah.
See how, like, you can't go 2 feet without going down a step? There's, like, no place to put a table. And then this area in the back
As a
has
destination.
a different feel. You have a destination.
The backyard right now is in a horrible state. It's just a giant slope. This is a very difficult backyard to gain back without spending a fortune. Now, what about, Jackie, the storage area here? Is there anything you want to talk about with that?
Well, I think what I want to do is move it back. I'd like, if possible, to get rid of that space in the back.
Okay.
By where the wood is.
We'll do it and give you that space back.
Okay.
Jackie's yard may not be much now, but dirty business can turn it into a usable oasis.
What's going on with the property here?
Whatever you guys come up with, this Japanese maple, don't even think of going even close to it. Figure something out that sort of ties in that Japanese maple and sets it off. I mean, it is the centerpiece of this garden. It really is.
Because the grade is, it's kind of a wonky wave kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Getting from this grade to this grade is going to be some series of stairs
That's the important part, getting a nice tiered transition as you work your way down.
because the grades actually create a lot of interest. Just got to work them properly.
Cool.
Okay.
Excellent.
Let's get started.
See ya.
So Lauren is starting with a site survey.
There's a reason they call this SUV. Stupid, ugly vehicle. It's falling apart. Oh, I'm really just a beast of burden. Oh, the house. It's a nice house. Looks like it used to be a cottage, but they've added a second floor. Looks like tight access here for machinery and men and whatnot. Ew. Except for the Japanese maple, that's beautiful. The grades are going to be really important because the way the door is situated down into the back of the garden, because it does slope a fair bit for a fairly small yard. We really have to take into consideration how the grade drops off. So the amount of steps required, the elevations, how it's going to be retained, whether it's going to be patio or walls or decking, all those things, and the privacy from the neighbor, I'm assuming. Good fences make good neighbors. You don't always want to say hello to your neighbor. You want to be friendly, but you don't want to come out in your Calvin Kleins and with your cappuccino and have to say hello. It might be awkward.
Lauren needs to take all the measurements so we can figure out the plan of attack.
Okay, so Jackie's house. Get up!
Oh, I'm so excited about this design.
Get up!
Look at that. It's a house with boundaries,
Yes.
a
Now,
shed, and a tree.
You know what's really cool about this one? Everything's going to roll around this Japanese maple. Gorgeous maple, which is
Right.
going to dictate this design.
So two of the main concerns, the grade issue, creating some interesting space up here, which
Right.
was lacking, and this beautiful specimen Japanese maple.
That's right.
Which sounds like decking may be in order.
Decking probably is in order for this design, for sure. I agree.
Because that's a cost-effective way to deal with grades rather than putting
That's
terrace system with natural stone,
That's
brick,
right.
etc. Well, I think what we're probably going to do, James, hear me out on this. We're going to have a transitional deck at the top for barbecue and a little intimate area for the family to have a coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
Then we'll go down to a main deck, which will be for dining, and then we're going to have some sort of stair system that will lead down to a third area, which will be more of a destination garden for the swing chair, etc. So I better get drawing this. Usually the lots in town are long and narrow, sort of like bowling alleys, and this is sort of a short and squat lot, so and the yard's fairly wide. I'd say it's about, well, it's about this wide, which is about 40 feet or so. Yeah, 40 feet. I'd say 8 inches.
The goal of any design is to make a space feel a little bit bigger than it actually is. In this case, we're using diagonals to create the illusion of size.
And we're working off the angles of this little tiny window that's off the kitchen and this little bay area here. I mean, it's not just for any random reason. It usually ties into something that's happening, but it will often make the line seem a little bit longer in your garden. It doesn't always work, but in this case it does.
So basically the idea is to dress up the prized Japanese maple with some floating decks. But is this gonna fly with Jackie?
Hey, James.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Great to
Good
see
to
you.
see you.
How have you been? So, I've got a great garden for
Okay,
you.
let's see.
Here we are. Right away, what we want to do is remove that whole step system that's been
Right.
built against the house. You like to barbecue, so you walk right out and have this ample
Oh,
little
see, that's
area over
nice.
here.
We can have coffee out there in the morning.
For privacy, we just want to put some liriodendron.
Right.
Liriodendrons are tulip trees, and they are a native tree to this habitat down here. So after you've had your cup of coffee, you can
Right.
come down the stairs, and now we thought about the big open deck here.
Right.
Then I want you to come right down on these large, beautiful wooden stairs. These are basically mini floating decks.
Sure.
It's got
Okay.
a focal Japanese maple, which I'm gonna have someone come in and prune it perfectly for you.
Okay.
The garden shed, we're gonna pull it back, take it
Right.
right to the property line so that you have more area out front for planting.
So the construction's starting tomorrow, and I want to make sure that it's not too dirty and not too noisy.
Well, we'll just turn that over to our intrepid landscape crew.
All right.
When you're breaking ground, you've got to be ready for anything.
There's supposed to be a planter bed right through there.
But no one was suspecting to be caught between a rock and a hard place.
This is the problem. All of a sudden, we have a piece of Stonehenge in the middle of the back frickin' yard.
Nothing prepared us for this.
It's a foot deep so far. Like, I just have no idea why some dumb would put a giant slab of concrete in the middle of the backyard.
Before anything new can happen, we've got to dislodge this stone slab. Once the concrete gets the heave-ho, the crew can get started getting rid of the rest of the trees and shrubs, and the new deck build can begin.
That's about a perfect drop. On a Friday, I'll take that.
So while the crew clears the deck for the new deck, I'm heading into rocky territory at the gravel pit.
Tino! Hey, James, nice to see you again.
Thanks. It's pretty busy here and hot.
Hey, all the time.
Yeah, man, thanks for meeting up with me, because I got this client. I'm trying to keep costs down, but still give it a really elegant look. So it's a very fine gravel I'm looking at. I just want to lay just a really, like, almost that much, so it doesn't get way underfit. You know,
barely see
bare
the
minimum.
screening.
But I don't want this to be, you know, this deep and it gives way like a sandy beach. Like, a lot of people do put gravel down on a driveway or a patio, and look what happens underneath. I mean, you can't even walk on it, you know?
That's right.
So,
We have the HPB
yeah.
or the 3/8 gravel.
What does HPB stand for?
HPB is high performance bedding.
Oh, I see.
It's a self-compacting material.
Oh, nice. So you mean all these years I've been paying man hours for like compacting this stuff will just go down and you don't have to do anything?
No, you just
We
put
should have
it
been
down.
talking years ago, man.
Well,
I guess we'll go with the HPV as long as it passes my special gravel test. Oh, yeah! Back at the site, I can already see a difference, but it's a bit different for the client.
Just looked so like a pile of mud, basically. My mother's coming up to visit. She's 86, and so this is a big deal for her to come up.
Jackie's mom, 86. We better get cracking. Even the dogs put out.
No back steps. That's been the worst part, is no back steps, because usually I let Lucy out the back door. So we had to go out the front, and a skunk had been using my lawn. She goes chasing off after the skunk. Fortunately, even though skunks are slow, Lucy was slower.
Happily, Lucy wasn't skunked, and now we're looking for the stuff that's going to make Jackie's domain smell really sweet.
Looking for perennials.
Yeah.
Some sort of large foliage plant that can come up
over top of the deck so it gives her a little bit of delineation at the edge of the deck. Because I really don't want to put a railing in there.
Yeah, that would. No, I think the place would be brutal if you had a railing on that.
Maybe a Stilby, look at that.
Ah, Stilby. Look at the colors of this Stilby.
Wow. If you're picking a plant for a flower, this one actually flowers a lot longer than most average perennials. Where they get 2 weeks, these sort of go for about 3 weeks.
Let's use some of this in her garden, in Jackie's garden, but I don't think it's going to do justice coming right up to the edge of the deck. It's too low still.
So we need something where the foliage will be higher. Then there might be some stock higher than that.
We need some big dramatic drifts of something, big foliage, large flower, give it some interest. There she is. I think that's the one. Ligularia the Rocket. I think this could possibly be the perfect plant for that area.
So. This is as high as me.
I know.
It has a spire flower, which gives it architecture.
Great foliage.
Beautiful leaf.
What I love about it too, guys, is look at this black core here. The stem is just incredible.
And it lit up at night. This would look incredible too.
Oh, would it ever?
And the site's a little shady.
Look at the size of this leaf.
I know. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, how are you?
It's not big enough.
You know, the foliage is going to really soften the edge of the deck. You're going to lose that hard edge in the garden ring.
Yeah, this is what's going to create that barrier. Hey, don't step off the deck here.
Okay, we've got a floral border. No need for an intrusive railing. If we could just say the same thing about a saw.
The next time they decide they want to leave the doors in and put another set in, they should probably tell us before we chop a giant hole in the side of the shed.
What happened?
Originally, according to the plan with James, the door on the shed was being removed from the end.
We talked about leaving the side shed doors on. Remember that day?
Cut a big hole in the side of the shed.
They didn't.
And Jay took it off.
And then Jackie came home and wondered what we were doing. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, she had met with James, who had said we were going to leave the doors in the end, put a second set in to allow light in so there would be 2 sets of double doors in the shed, only it never filtered far enough south.
And I'm like, oh, Jay, I guess we didn't tell you. Maybe we should just leave them on.
So we had a little drama. But hey, that's what makes it fun, right?
That's the door handle that swung open as Alan was cutting it and he cut the actual handle clean off. I think I'll make an Alan award. We'll have some fun with it.
We have a handle on the shed situation, and the finishing touches for the deck are on track. Too bad we can't say the same about the weather. Torrential rain is holding up getting the plants in.
But it's kind of upsetting because Jackie's mother has been here for 2 weeks, and I'd really love to have some closure with this garden with her mom here.
Oh, my Lord, I didn't expect this to be such a project. You have a backyard left.
Well, no, there'll be lots of plants over there. You can't see it yet, but because it's all mud.
It would be really, I think, a lot of fun for Jackie and her mother to share a brand new garden coming together, but it's not going to happen, so I'm a little upset about that.
Okay, honey. Bye-bye. I love you.
Wouldn't you know it? Jackie's mom leaves and the sun comes out. Lisa, how are you?
Hello, hello.
Great to see you.
Making yourself comfortable.
Yeah, I was about to just... Bright side, our designer Lisa can get a look at this place for furniture and the rest of the pretty stuff.
In terms of what the family is looking for.
Everything's based around coming down, sitting down here, relaxing, the ultimate destination point here.
The deck is really angular.
It is, yes.
So I'm thinking just something to soften it up, maybe a round table, really big comfy chairs.
Yeah, any color are you suggesting or anything like that? Or what?
The only thing that offhand that I can think of is just to put some texture in here because there's so much wood in the place.
Yeah.
I'm thinking just lovely fabrics with texture.
Awesome.
As Lisa heads out, the plants start arriving out of the blue.
There's always like these little surprises. Like we came home one night and the whole driveway was filled with plant matter. Trees and things, and neighbors are coming over and they're coming up and they're saying, what is this? And why have you left a bunch of trees in my driveway anyway? And, you know, stuff like that. Unexpected surprises.
Sorry, Jackie, but that's the way we roll in the landscape business. We're just happy to have good weather for planting. And Lisa rolls with her brief of the space.
I'm looking for something to break up all the angles in the space. There's a lot of wood and there's a lot of angles and it's a little overpowering. So this is actually a good starting point. I can probably use it in the little area at the back. So by having texture in the cushions, in the actual frame of the piece, as well as the softness of just the round table, the round chairs, it's really inviting. So this would be a really good fit.
While Lisa's making headway,
Let's move these guys on center, just Jay, so I can place everything around them.
I'm using motivational techniques back on site to get this job done.
I hurt my back playing hockey last night, so... Okay, just a little more.
Oh, that's a nice healthy tree.
Come on,
I've got tight enough.
I've got a facial at 4.
I think that's tight enough, eh?
So the planting is going great, but not all trees are created equal.
We'll get one
more viburnum.
Viburnum lentago, which that one's going to the graveyard.
It's turning brown.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, my friend. You didn't make the cut. And speaking of cutting,
What we want to achieve here are just sort of really light layers.
Yeah. With it being a Japanese maple, they're a little bit more sensitive to aggressive pruning or anything like that. We tend to be a little bit more delicate with them. General rule of thumb is, for most pruning, is 25% of the canopy. By alleviating some weight, we can gain some elevation, right? You're trying to get function in the sense of, I want to walk under this tree without banging my head on limbs, but you also want to continue the look of the tree. So you have to sort of be aesthetically minded as well as functionally minded.
Especially important with a Japanese maple because it's such a focal point.
Problem is, people leave the plant, let it get to this huge monster of this plant, and then they ask you to come in and say, I want it to look like it did when I planted it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, functionally, we can't do that. So if you stay on top of it as it grows, you're better in the long run because you can actually train that tree to look how you want it to look.
I'm glad we got Jackie's fabulous tree sorted out. In fact, to me, all plants and trees are awesome.
See how it's shaped like a tulip when it's in the ground? Hi, I'm from Holland. I'm a tulip.
We're almost there.
The gravel is perfect, man. It's perfect compaction. I love the aluminum edge, just cleans it up beautifully.
Except for a little cutting miscalculation on some glass panels.
They cut the glass and we had to go get it changed, and then they sent us back the exact same glass, so we had to go back again today.
Even mistakes have their rewards.
In honor of your lovely work on Jackie's shed, we thought that you should receive the Allen Award for outstanding accomplishments in cutting doorknobs in half.
Well, you apparently have too much time on your hands if you carve that out yourself.
The final piece of glass for the upper deck is in place. A few more finishing touches, and Jackie's garden is a sight to behold.
Okay, gents, you ready for this one? Here we are at Jackie's backyard.
Oh, nice.
What a great
cleaned up
space.
beautifully.
Did we put the Japanese maple in?
Yep.
Sure did. We
I
had-
love it.
We had traded in.
Wow, looks great. Very beautiful.
What a scale, eh? Perfect
Clean and
scale
simple.
for, like, you just feel I could use this all the time.
Yeah, the atmosphere here is amazing.
I'm very happy about this transformation of this garden. Jackie, at the beginning didn't have a garden that she could use at all. There was this really bad crib system outside the door, which was actually very dangerous for her to walk on. The slope was useless. There was no plateau where they could entertain or have a patio. Now look at it, they can sit up there at breakfast time and have a grapefruit and a coffee and a newspaper.
The new steps are great because they're a little bit wider,
Yeah.
so they're shallower, so it's a nicer flow
Safer.
down. They're not steep stairs.
What do I think? I think it's gorgeous. I do. I'm trying to remember back to the original yard, just how scruffy it was. And now it's so perfect.
And we've done elevations of 3 spaces. We've got a little breakfast nook up top here that they can enjoy in the evening and the morning. They have a main seating area down below here, and then the destination point in the corner.
We've talked about this, about how staircases change your mood from one space to another. This is so relaxing.
We've given Jackie basically 3 rooms, and we've added to her living space. Let's talk about changing mood for a second. I notice our energy is kind of subdued today. Did you take your sedation pills as well?
I honestly think it's the garden, man. It's relaxing.
It is the garden.
I love the fact, though, that we're in a completely different room in the garden. There's a completely different atmosphere because of the pea gravel. And there's still a beautiful Japanese maple as a focal.
Before, there was absolutely nothing here that she could use. So I'm really happy and really, really delighted that we've given her this space back.
I feel more like it's my yard, even though I did none of the work. I feel that it reflects us. We'll use this yard for many years to come, and we'll have many lovely evenings with good food and good wine and good friends.
You know what? These martinis are just fantastic.
I think they were
my lychee martini is just fantastic.
I think they were color-coded.
They are.
Nice work, guys.
I know you're lying.
Cheers.
Help! Dad, we're stuck! We're stuck!
I'll be there in a second.
Dad!
Hang on.
Dad!
Good thing there was a downspout here.
Cool.
They should have used copper eaves troughs. Costs more, but they last longer.
Dad, we haven't got all day.
Whoa, this porch is in rough shape.
Dad.
Really needs a paint job.
Dad.
These guys should hire dirty business.
Dad, forget the design tips.
Hey, where'd that camera come from?
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, thanks,
What?
Dad.
You guys dragged me all the way over here and you can climb down on your own?
Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Dad.
Kids.
It's the landscaping show that frightens people.
I've been scared of the stonework ever since we started.
The stakes are high.
This has to be done by next summer or my family's gonna kill me.
It's full of drama.
We're all out of concrete.
Oh, that's a drama.
There's even a water feature.
To see it finished looks absolutely amazing. This is a beautiful job.
My name is Kennedy. I'm a landscape designer. This is my youngest son, Duncan. He's 5 months old now, actually. So he's running around with me every Friday, going to job sites if I need to come out. Don't let anybody tell you kids are tough. Kids are easy to please. Clients, on the other hand, well, let me tell you a story. This particular client has just been through a major reno.
We just thought that we would like to finish off our backyard sort of consistent with how the house was finished out and to get a little bit more use out of the backyard than we did in the past.
Roman's wife, Elaine, is a bit camera shy.
She's still there.
But she'll be very involved in this job. Right now, what's not working in the backyard is there's not enough room to entertain. The plants have kind of just overgrown, not really been taken care of. And now because they did the reno, the grade on the house, and I don't know if it's always been this high, but to us, it's too high off the ground, so we need a flow through because their kitchen's gonna flow nicely down into this backyard. Right now, it's just a drop off.
We're hoping for the backyard to have sort of a courtyard effect to it.
One thing is color, no blacks or any of the gray, all that. Really, I want the beiges, like the interior.
We're also looking for a space where it's soothing, relaxing, maybe a water feature there to kind of calm us down at the end of the day.
This is the list you got from the leaders?
Yep. This is Lauren, our senior designer. He's going to help this backyard turn over a new leaf. Now, there's one here that says modern.
Modern.
I tend to like more the modern.
He is kind of a little more modern, like what he was saying, but I think she might.
Can I put a question mark there?
My wife Elaine has a lot of input. She's a little bit more traditional.
I think she might get what she wants more. I'm not sure.
Okay, so she wears the pants in the family.
My wife Elaine makes the decisions in this household, but I'd like to believe that I have some veto power.
Everything seems to be pretty controlled.
Right, controlled. Unlike my business partner, James.
What the hell is he doing? Did he hang a moon?
James definitely doesn't wear the pants in this office.
How hetero. So here's the deal. Roman wants it to come up with something that's tranquil, but not fussy.
They're asking for low maintenance, and the lowest maintenance would be, as the joke goes, concrete the whole thing. So a lot of it is patio.
We're going to use large steps coming out of the kitchen and into the backyard to avoid that drop-off feeling. The top step's going to be big enough for a bistro table and chairs to give the clients a little coffee area just outside the kitchen. We'll put an arbor area on this side of the yard to create a large entertainment space. Roman and Elaine would like a water feature, so we'll put that over here.
The highest maintenance is water features, and this client wants one, contradictory to the low maintenance request, but it's just an element that in a garden it's hard to replace with something else.
The water feature really adds to the tranquility. We're also going to do plantings around the perimeter. It's a shade garden, so we're going to have to come up with plants that don't need a lot of sun. We're going to move the shed to the back of the yard because basically sheds are ugly and we want to get it out of the way. We're also going to build a decorative screen to put in front of the shed, and eventually vines will grow on it and the shed will be completely hidden from view.
I wish my own backyard could even approach what this is going to look like. Well, everybody's asked me, what's this cage for? And it's not for anything. It's just to divide the whole garden up and create more kind of room feeling to it. It's kind of how I design. I design in your face kind of feeling. I always tell people, we don't sit you right near the house because you got to be out in the garden to feel like it's a garden. Eventually when plants are all grown up here, they'll just kind of envelop you, this whole sitting area down here. It's amazing when you're designing for yourself and there's no rules. It's impossible. This has taken forever. This has to be done by next summer or my family's gonna kill me.
Who's this, Lato? What's the client thinking for a color schematic?
Well, if they're really not telling us anything right now, we're just going with, I think, a little more yellows, just because it's kind of shady and, you know, just to brighten it up a little bit.
They seem to have a fair landing up here. Did they want to do anything with it, or what's happening here?
I think they want a bistro table and barbecue.
Just not to have to go down to the major table all the time.
As a main
for
and
coffee.
for your morning coffee, it's nice to just nip out here.
And this is really, really secluded, kind of in the yard.
I like it.
It's very cool.
Looks like it has nice solid bones with the existing mature plant material.
Yeah.
And it's ready to go.
Meanwhile, back at the job site, everything, the grass, the bushes, the deck, everything has been torn out. While there's no turning back, our camera-shy contractor, Elaine, has not been seen, but she has definitely been heard. I just got a call from Elaine. She thinks the steps from the kitchen down to the patio are a bit too big. I don't want to make these steps too small, because if it's too small, they'll just feel like they just drop off. So I have Ron, our general contractor, down there now trying to sort all this out.
They really wanted to see the size of the steps in proportion to the house. A lot of people can't relate off plan.
So Ron is kind of staging it just to show Elaine what the sizes will be.
So it's one step, back to here, one more step, and another step.
I'm pretty sure the steps are the right size, but if we have to give the client some time to mull it over, so be it.
This is kind of on hold, I guess, for now.
So we're on hold until our clients can decide when this project can take its next step.
Well, we're hoping for the backyard to have sort of a courtyard effect to it.
Screens, shade-friendly plantings, and an arbor will make it a great place to chill out. As for a water feature, the highest maintenance is water features. And this client wants one, contradictory to the low maintenance request. But in the end, change is going to be unbelievable. The clients wanted to see a roughed-in patio, which is putting us into a bit of a delay.
I travel a fair bit, and so it's really kind of hard to get together with people to finalize decisions.
Happily, it's been approved and we're moving forward. The patio is going to be a random square cut, which means all the flagstone is going to be cut into different size squares and rectangles and then fitted together. It gives the garden a bit of a formal look. The patio here comes right up to and becomes the edge of the water feature around here. But the back stands up about this high. This is kind of emulating the size of water feature. Whatever I order goes in the wall that they build here and spills out like this, width, spills out into the pool. Whenever you do like a sheet of water pouring, it breaks the surface of the water. So you don't continually get like the Bacchus like spitting out the water like that, where it's like, you know, it's kind of an annoying sound. This is more like sheet rain, like that. It's one thing to sound like a fountain. It's another to find the right fountain.
Some people misunderstand, and it doesn't go out like this.
Right.
It actually just will come out like maybe like that.
This is stainless.
Stainless steel,
Awesome.
won't rust. So you're just gonna attach your tubing here
Yep.
to whatever pump. Do you have the pump, or you need to choose a pump too?
We need the pump and piping. We'll get it all from you guys.
Okay.
And this is all winter, saying.
Yep, it's guaranteed for winterizing, which means that if it freezes, it's gonna be fine.
Wow, I'm pumped about this water feature. Back at the job site, the stairs are going in. The steps off the kitchen are laid in mortar on top of a concrete form. The new shed will also be built on a concrete pad.
This morning we got concrete delivered, but the concrete company did a miscalculation, and you can see we're a little bit short.
So we're all out of concrete. Hold on, I gotta go punch out the concrete guy.
Would have been nice to get it all poured as one pour, but we'll have to add on to it.
But the backyard isn't all hardscape.
It'd be nice to put some yellow plants in this garden, Kennedy. Well, my only concern is the sun.
Yeah.
Are there some sunny spots?
This is kind of the sunnier kind of area right in here.
Okay.
But there's some yellows too that can handle shade, so.
So it'd be nice to put some Some data,
Brighten up
especially this one that has a beautiful red center to it.
Not only that, and they're so hardy. Like the grassiness of it. When there's no flower there, it's kind of cool looking still.
Black-eyed Susan is another nice option. It's a real traditional plant, and it comes up later in the summer, so that's nice for late season color.
What's the height?
18 inches.
Yeah. Hostas?
And the only disadvantage of hosta is it does disappear into the ground in the winter, so it's just earth showing. So
I wonder if she'll go for, like this yellow,
red.
Maybe the red in it or something like that.
I don't know. I don't see why not.
I mean, I love this. It's amazing.
Although yellow is the most popular color to dislike.
Meanwhile, progress continues in Roman's yard, where we're installing the arbor posts.
Okay, give her. So this is going to have a trellis or pergola top to it.
Yeah.
So the detail on that still has to be worked out.
Yeah. We're almost there with the arbor design, except for the beams sticking out from the roof. It's got to be a little more consistent with the style of the house. Lauren's come up with a very simple solution.
See the oven? I'm talking about just the edges of it. Maybe do a little molding detail around that. Yeah.
Basically, we're going to take a cue from their interior and add crown molding to the arbor.
Actually, the more I look at the house, the more I like the molding idea.
Often the simplest solution is the best solution. Patio and stairs are in, as are the posts. The water features being built were golden. Now it's time to install the screens to give us some privacy and disguise the new shed.
That's why we painted the black on the shed so it kind of disappears in behind the grid. That looks pretty sweet, actually.
Well, not that sweet. Everything was going along smoothly. We just got new instructions from Elaine. She actually wants to take out the screens.
Gone. Completely gone?
Yeah. Nothing to do with workmanship.
Better not be.
She
doesn't like it.
She feels like it's an add-on.
All right.
This one, so I see the board and battens one on, which is actually pretty cool.
Okay, the whole shed was black with the whole idea of lattice work going on in front of it, and eventually the vines growing through it. The total black the client didn't like. She came out, it's too loud.
I liked it. I thought that it provided a great focal point for looking out the window. Elaine, on the other hand, thought that it was too much of a focal point, and as a result wanted it muted back to sort of the original texture.
We decided to board and batten the whole thing, put the screen back up, leave it over the weekend to see if it'll grow on her. If not, the screen is coming out as well. We calculated the squares perfectly up and down, side to side, so they're all the same. Now with the battens in the background, you can't tell what's part of the square and what's not. See that, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a mess now.
On Friday, it was like, take the screen out. Now Elaine's completely okay with the screens. Just the one beside the patio has to be tightened up, the lattice work. It's the same opening as this, just tighten them up so you have 4 squares instead of 1. It just comes down to vines growing on this. If vines grew on it, and at the end, in 5 years from now, you'd be like, wow, these are nice. It's all stark. There's no planting, and she's more about the planting. She's been scared of the stonework ever since we started.
Well, that happens all the time.
Is this patio too big?
Yeah,
I'm like,
the usual.
this is nothing. Wait till the arbor and everything else is up. You're gonna be going, oh my God, what did I get? You know what? All the stonework, the new shed and screens, this place is looking fantastic. So is the water feature with the, instead of the. Are you gonna be plugging this in soon, or are you gonna have to figure out how to put this thing together?
Well, I think we just plug her in and she's ready to go.
Just hope that sound's not too loud. People tell you right away. They're like, yeah, I don't like that water feature. The sound makes me want to go to the washroom. You know, and that's not what you're trying to create. You're trying to create a feeling of like nature, not to be annoying.
That's pretty quiet. Something's wrong.
Yeah, Ron, why don't you unplug it with your wet hands?
Okay. Now let it go.
It's grounded though, right? That's weird.
This doesn't work, we smash it.
What's the old joke? How many landscapers does it take to plug in a water feature?
See, you should have got Dave to plug it in all along.
See,
You're the wrong guy plugging it in. Ooh, that's sexy, man.
That's nice.
Kenny's listening to the noise.
You know what? It's way more dramatic than I thought it was going to be.
The water feature's working, and Lauren and Joel are digging this yard.
For some reason, with the arbor and the shed all being over on one side,
I would have the feeling that it could go lopsided, but it's not at all. I think the water feature grounds it out.
In the planting.
Well, yeah, exactly. The plant material is going to give it a nice balance on either side.
Ah, the plant material. As soon as we finish the stonework, we can start with the planting. Or can we? She doesn't want to use red, yellow, or orange, and I think most of the plants were in that kind of yellow area, so she wants all blues and purples and whites. So these are the areas now that need to be filled in. And she wants vines on all the fencing all around.
Okay, so do you think silver lace vine would be too intrusive, too
Probably.
rapid?
It'll grab onto everything.
Sweet autumn clematis.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
I think it may be on this screen.
Even the Katsura tree has a yellow fall color. Is that okay with her?
I don't think there's a tree with blue.
No, or white. What was the other color? Blue, white, and purple?
Yeah.
You can get it.
There's no fall colors. I can hardly ever do this, but one maiden grass. At the bottom of the step.
How artistic.
Predominantly, the whole backyard is going to be blue and white garden. Whenever you have shade, there's not a lot of hot color plants that do well in the shade because they lose their color when you get a lot more shade happening. You start losing a lot more of the interesting part of the plant because it reverts back to just being green and not flowering so much. Thankfully, she likes white because you can get a lot of white flowering plants for shade. Everybody thinks when they have shade, they can't even grow things. Like there's a lot out there you can grow. We're keeping the plants by the house low. So when the clients look out, they'll be able to see the entire yard unfold in front of them. And now that the plants are in, the final touch is furniture.
And what kind of look are they going for? More traditional, more modern?
It's traditional interior. It's, just upgraded.
So natural?
More natural.
No steel?
No steel. This was just to have the coffee up here. That's why this whole walkout was so big, because it's so private in that spot, and just to come out and have a coffee as opposed to going down formally sitting at a big table. So that was the main kind of dining area to get them away from the kitchen, because it's immediately the kitchen is just inside the doors there.
Sounds good.
So I'll let you take it away. Do your thing. And the next time we see this place, it'll be completely done.
Oh, that's good.
But today, Lisa's bringing in the finishing touches, so soon it's going to look like this.
I had actually been during construction once or twice, but to see it finished looks absolutely amazing. This is a beautiful job.
We've been part of the process every step of the way, and it's actually come out way better than we thought.
This is what we tell people all the time. You come out and the patio looks large and it looks like it's going to overwhelm the site. And now the furniture is on and it's back to like
Every meeting.
Yeah.
Every meeting during construction.
Is there enough
the patio's too big? I'm like, no, just wait till you see furniture in it. It's never big enough.
Clients put a lot of investment in their garden, and often at the end they don't put really beautiful furniture in. Maybe it's a budget issue, but often I think it's just easier for them to go to the local hardware store and buy these $2 chairs, and that really plays down the garden. I think it's worthwhile to put a little thought into the furniture that goes in. And
yeah, we view it the same as interiors. You don't have to have patios of this caliber with this type of stone. I mean, this is all labor intensive and expensive, but you don't have to go that route, but you can still have this layout.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this could be pea gravel.
The idea of sitting by the water feature, I love it. That's a great idea. That's a perfect little nook.
And you can almost lay there and read a book.
Oh.
Is there room for 3? Let's see.
God, I wish I had this. I wish I owned this. We took almost everything out of this yard, but we left the locust for the overhead canopy. Now, locusts are great for providing filtered sunlight. The whole back is intended to be climbing hydrangea on the back of that wall, so when you're sitting here, the whole thing is just going to be this wall of green, which they can grow in the shade.
Right.
There's this traditional view of design that there's a patio, so it has to be totally covered with an arbor. And here we have a large patio, only half is arbor. And it just breaks it up and it works beautifully. And it feels like you can go to this place on one side of the arbor where it's nice atmosphere above you, and then you can go out into the openness too.
The client said from the get-go it's kind of an adult entertainment garden now. As soon as you're given that kind of leeway to kind of play like that, it's not like you have to leave a space open for the kids to play and stuff, so you can just design wall to wall. It's one thing actually which is kind of neat about this garden is they didn't change the fencing at all, because that's just a huge waste of money.
Yeah.
It's like we could change it to cedar because cedar is nicer. This is all pressure treated, but it's been here forever and it's fine. This was taking the lead from the client in their interior, because their interior kind of resembles the same exterior, which I'd love to do. These colors are inside, and the vibe inside is classic kind of feeling. People should do that. If they have a crazy interior, do it crazy outside. If you have a traditional, do traditional. You know, that's who you are. You don't really notice, I don't think, when there's so much visual feast going on that there's no lawn back here. You know, there's stuff to look at, and the furniture's all kind of great.
The clients wanted a lower maintenance garden, Craig, with no lawn.
The cat thoroughly enjoys it. She has lots of different places to go and explore and just frolic around.
It really is nice to sit in the garden after, without the stone saws going, without the dirt being brought in. Like, you know, it's
a nice white cushion.
I don't think we get to sit in the garden after it's done enough. This is dynamite.
Hi, man, what's up?
And maybe you'll have a garden like this one day.
In the business of dirty, the hazards of the job can be dire.
Did my pants get slipped?
Lauren ripped his crotch.
Many brave men have fallen.
Feel like an old timer.
And the fallout hasn't been pretty.
Oh, broke the pot.
As still we soldier forth to backyard victory.
Wow, I love it.
This is dynamite, man.
This is excellent.
Our story begins in a beautiful place.
Looks like a great neighborhood that's conducive to kids.
With a not-so-beautiful backyard.
We have a family of 4, Brendan and I, and then we have 2 little kids running around all the time, so it's a reasonably busy household.
The way I'd sort of describe the property right now is it's a little bit grungy and urban. Having, you know, a cinder block wall and an alleyway behind us is something that I'm not as happy to see.
I come from BC, so I'd like to actually see BC transported and dropped into my backyard.
Doesn't look like it would fit.
When Heidi's talking about transplanting BC, she's thinking of sort of wildlife setting with ocean and orcas and all sorts of wooden structures and stuff.
Oceans and orcas? We can try, but that's a lot of water. I'm Joel, and I'm here to fish for more details.
Looks like we're talking about an overhaul for the backyard.
I think so. It's okay, but I'd rather have something a little more spectacular than just okay. The whole property slopes down. We've already actually had one child topple over when she was running down.
Looks like a bit of a toboggan run.
The shed can go. I can see you looking over at the shed. It's ugly, and I'd love to see it go.
Yeah. I guess one big issue we should talk about is the deck. Did you want to see that removed?
I'd like a deck, not necessarily this particular deck.
They're the ones saying it.
Fencing, did you?
This is a little bit of a problem. I'd like more privacy generally.
And at night, you can see that light in the middle of the house back there.
The high beam?
I think that's some sort of light that they would put on a helicopter to search for people, because I'm pretty sure we can tan it by that at nighttime.
How about water feature or...
I would love to get a water feature.
Oh, yeah? Okay, great.
If you can bring the ocean here and bring BC into my backyard, I'll be really happy.
For that.
And to pull together an adult and kid-friendly yard, we've brought in a ringer.
Emma has decided to play hooky for the afternoon, spend it with our design team.
So, Heidi and Brendan, they have this existing deck. It was designed by somebody else who I don't think got it.
I say tear it out. Is it screwed down? This looks brand new, this deck.
That's the hard part about ripping it out.
It's not right.
It's not what we would have originally designed.
Why did they want to change these?
This slope, Kennedy, it's like your kids are going to be playing and do one of those where you just roll over. So I'll have to work with that.
What do you think, Emma?
Emma, would you play in this backyard?
No. No? Answer. We're going to fix it up so you want it.
Kid. What's a nice big house, Joel?
What can we do to help this yard kick back?
Now, we're going to gain quite a bit of space by removing this shed. Keeping in mind this...
It's amazing. I mean, who has a 5-foot wide tree that looks like it's from a rainforest in their backyard? Nice ash.
The most challenging thing about this site is the grade issue, because it's not flat. Have they talked about a water feature? They want a water feature, don't
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Absolutely.
they? I think we should start measuring.
Now measuring is very tricky. Lots of numbers,
1'9".
more than a few signals.
I laughed.
That's so high school. Like art class. Or music.
I met her in some foreign queen in Memphis.
That's pretty good.
Even your first crush.
He's not ticklish today.
With a recess that never ends.
This is the existing deck, so we're not designing this, but we're just going to refurbish it. But this is the new deck down below, and with the staircase, and this is the water feature here. There's quite a large wall here covered with lattice, which is a little bit unsightly. It's starting to collapse, so that wall has to be redone. Hopefully it won't mess with our timing.
A lot of work, but could look great. Time to talk about solutions.
We've decided that it would be best to leave your deck and look at recovering it, putting a brand new cedar over top of it. It's a beautiful wood, nice and warm. And then incorporate an upper level, a mid-level, and a lower level. The privacy issue is going to be covered with plant material on the lower level, and then tempered glass screens.
I like that.
Yeah, this
like the glass.
Yeah, I think this is just a little more snazzy and just brings it up a little bit more.
And what's the water feature, what's that gonna be?
Lauren came up with it, and it's just built into the deck, and it also ties into the lower deck. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a really lovely project.
How long do you think it's gonna take?
That's the $1 million question.
Hopefully this one will be smooth, fast, and beautiful at the end.
Smooth, fast, and beautiful. It's music to the ear. In practice, not so much.
A piece of 2x8 on top of rotting wood. Holy it's wood underneath! I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna save it.
Joel's more academic than I would have thought you'd see in the landscaping business.
Yes, academic.
Are you guys touching your tongue to your nose?
I was expecting someone more who'd be able to, cart wheelbarrows and stuff around, but I get the impression Joel doesn't really do that.
You can go phone your mother now. I'm going to do some measuring down here.
We'll see when they're actually on site whether he gets his hands dirty or whether he just draws the pretty pictures.
Day one, the day we get to rip it all apart. Being paid to smash things may sound like fun until you have to put it all back together. The crew is fast at work and the walls are tumbling down. No flies on us.
Yeah.
Joel's pet fly.
That's a good fly.
The shed left behind a massive concrete footprint. All eyes to the deck. Fingers crossed we can retrofit and not build new.
It looks like it's still in good shape, and so maybe there's something to work with the bones of it.
Or maybe not.
I don't think I want to walk on this anymore. Holy it's wood underneath! Oh, wood freely moving in dirt? It's not even sitting on concrete or anything. No, there's nothing under it.
Guess what? We found rot.
How do we make out with the, oh no.
There's never a pleasant way to break bad news like this.
We found a couple of things.
Oh, lovely.
It means the deck may have to come off. It's not a good thing.
This site's a perfect example of something every homeowner should be aware of. Did I mention that the homeowners were both in
lawyers?
The profession of law?
Yes.
So
Better dot the T's and cross the I's.
One of the first issues we had, your deck was being held up by a piece of 2x8.
Oh, wood to swell. That's not supposed to be good, is it?
No, it's not great. And then they did it again over here.
Oh, good.
So this entire run had a post on each corner, and that was it.
So you are there to fix this, right? Choose people I don't like to sit here.
Or there, either one.
It's such a bummer. And it makes it all the more important to assure other plans, like the glass partitions, go without a hitch.
Can we get me in the back smashing glass?
For some guys, it's strip clubs or sexy magazines. For a landscape designer, it's something a bit more nerdy.
I'm gonna put my butt cheeks against the glass. Kicked out of another glass shop.
My main goal, to find something for Heidi and Brendan that will give them privacy.
Cool.
And be safe for the kids.
Okay, Joel, over here we have the sandblasted glass. Still have a lot of privacy.
I love it, and I love the fact that it has a nice sort of soft blue kind of hue to it. It looks really good. And I have heard they use this stuff in hockey rinks, and that's actually what we tell clients.
They do.
Safety.
You know, when a normal piece of glass breaks, it breaks into a big shard or big spider webs all over it. Tempered glass does not do that. It'll break into small pieces so that it just falls.
Excellent.
Falls away.
I'm really fond of this bluish hue. I think it's great, and I think it really sets off plant material and the uplighting behind it and everything. I think we're in good shape with that, so we should order some glass.
What do you know? I'm all fired up and ready to go.
You want to go for a drink?
Yeah.
Well, back at the site, they're the ones who could use a beer, or 6.
What are you guys gonna do on this wall then?
The neighbor's leaning retaining wall is threatening to topple right onto our design.
They're putting 2 U-channels and anchoring it back.
Luckily, they're taking preventative action.
They're doing probably what most homeowners would do.
Which is great for us, and their plans are not going to impact on our project timeline at all. It's going to work.
So they're gonna put 2 steel columns down?
And the best part is, it's not going to cost us any money.
Okay, go back in your job.
But our problems aren't solved just yet.
One of the things I want to talk to you about was how we were stepping the screens down.
Our new deck setup requires a second look. We might not have enough glass panels.
Glass is custom. So again, anytime you go custom, you kind of pay for it.
Yeah, framing and the glass. Yeah.
Can you get me a number on what it would take to do 2 screens there?
Yep.
This could cost an arm and a leg.
It's not bad news. It's just it's what we call on-site decisions.
Which could mean some off-site funding.
More money, more money, more money.
More money, more money, more money.
More money, more problems.
You know what? Wait
till you get my bill. It'll work.
The neighbor's retaining wall is getting an overhaul, which helps them and us, even if it's not the prettiest to look at.
By the time plant material goes in and everything else is going on, it's going to be significantly toned down. So it's great.
With that in mind, I've emptied pretty much the entire office to go on a hunt for plants for this new backyard. Luckily, we've got the club car.
I like those ones. Have you seen my ball? Listen, it was a number 4.
We're professionals at every turn.
She loves me. She loves me not.
First on the hit list, one of the most popular of trees.
I think generally all around we all like to go after serviceberry because they have something for every season. White flowered spring, beautiful berry in the summer, and looks great bark in the winter time.
And it's really, really hardy in this zone.
Where do you turn for privacy in a shady setting?
The hornbeam.
Did you know that they used to make chariots in Rome from these? The hardest hardwood there is.
They also call it ironwood.
You got it.
Ironwood.
And look at the height. I mean, instantly you're getting 12 feet high. And this isn't even big ones. I mean,
well, I think this is a perfect plant for Heidi and Brennan. Yeah. But this is more of a structural wall, I would say, as opposed to that focal that we're still after.
Focal. I need a focal.
There's the one we're looking for.
Ah, yeah.
Crabapple trees get us a bit closer.
This is definitely the shape and size and structure we're after. And we're looking for privacy behind the tempered glass screens. This might work very well. Great screen, columnar, we'll go with it.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
Beautiful, let's rock.
But for the ultimate in privacy, it's definitely dogwood.
This is a focal.
That is a focal.
This is a focal.
If there's anything that's a focal, this is a focal.
We gotta tag this one. There's 2 spots that we really need the focals, and that's as you're entering, and as well to complement the water feature. I think we'll just tag this one, and we're looking good. I think we're on our way. Tag her.
So the plants are picked. And even better, one of my favorite features, the tempered glass panels are going in.
Makes me feel so good.
The glass is a key feature, and thankfully, we didn't have to add any more to the original order. That'll make the clients almost as happy as the panels will.
Something very cool happened. When you walk up from the driveway to see the screen on one side and the other, it gives a really neat visual feel. I'm looking forward to the reveal on that one too, because it has gone through an incredible before and after.
Metamorphosis.
And the hits just keep on coming. Plants have arrived and they're going in.
Those are really beautiful serviceberries, that's good. Beech, why did I order beech? They say landscape design is dealing with the 4th dimension. You're dealing with designing with living plant material, like something living. It's really, and I think that's why we all do it, because we love it. False spirea, this is a beautiful shrub, very hardy, beautiful white flower, and great for shade. 8 out of 10 gardens we deal with are shade, so we're always looking for shade plants. And we've gotten very creative at finding hardy shade plants that work really well and have amazing winter interest. That's a big deal.
Looks like every plant in the world is here, including some really skinny ones.
The hornbeam. I just wish they were a little bushier. That's all. I asked for the biggest ones I could get, and these are them. So we'll have to find out if Heidi and Brendan are okay with that and the weight, because I know this is an issue. So we'll see.
As if that weren't enough, I may have made a huge miscalculation.
Usually there's little mess-ups with costing and things that happen, and that's fine. Give a little bit here, a little bit there.
I have to fess up.
What should have been an $18,000 planting plan was sold as a $9,000 planting plan. But I'll tell you, the bottom line is, I didn't catch it. Oh. I should have caught it. But I would like to say, Heidi and Brendan, if you're watching the show, it was a great deal on the planting plan.
Yep, we're nothing if not gracious and giving.
Yeah, here we are. This job.
And our designer, Lisa's here to help give this yard even more bling.
So I think the client's after something that's like organic, but then they have a beautiful, well-done home that's nice and cleaned line. So you know, that sort of traditional, contemporary look that's morphed together. I think that's what's going on here.
Do they get shade from these trees?
It's an interesting kind of shade. It's not what we would call full shade, because it's a higher tree canopy, but it's sort of half sun, half shade.
I think what I might do is just to give them the option just to have a nice big umbrella there.
Yeah, an umbrella might be a great idea.
Yeah, bring it down.
Yeah. This space.
I would love to furnish this space.
Okay, great.
I think it lends itself to just having kind of a retreat from, so that's dining area, have some nice cushioned seating down here.
Cool. One thing that should be mentioned is they have 2 kids,
Okay.
a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old.
1 and 3, okay. I'll just put a seatbelt on the chairs.
Or we'll just do some nice cushions on the backside on the ground in the dirt there. So if they fall down, it's okay. Boom. Just kidding.
And with that, Lisa springs into action.
The dining area needs something to make it more intimate and feel like a room. So having an umbrella creates a nice little area. I like it. We're getting it.
With the end in sight, wouldn't you know it, a hitch.
I would look at this project to be about a 3 to 4 week project.
The water feature isn't anywhere near being done. And it's the rainiest summer in decades.
Call it a day.
We'll never get it done this way.
I'm pretty sure we're jinxed on that front. If it doesn't rain when I'm building the waterfall, I'll be amazed.
And amazingly enough, we finally catch a break from Mother Nature. She was really bugging me. Now we're able to finish that water feature. It's the last piece of the puzzle for this design. For me, we've given this yard the perfect spin and just the right amount of punch.
Wow.
Awesome.
I don't know how to describe what it was before. I mean, it was in need of repair. Now, it's just so beautifully calm and clean line and simple.
Wow, I love it. This is dynamite.
This is excellent.
It looks amazing. I'm really happy with the way it came out.
Heidi and Brendan wanted a nice, clean line, calm feeling, something that reminded Heidi of the West Coast, and it's happened here. People can't help but be involved and interact with this garden. This is a big deal.
Yeah, I love
to
that.
see the site beforehand, right here, it was pretty much a
Drop
4-foot
off,
drop.
right.
And it dropped down with these really awkward steps, and it felt really unsafe for children.
The stairs here are a lot safer because they've got railings on them, and you know, our 18-month-old can walk up and down them, whereas he'd go splat on the stone stairs before.
We pretty much kept the original footprint for the deck, but the big thing was to plug in the water feature and the plants. That's what really drove the deck home. That's what made the deck okay.
The water feature I really like. It makes a little bit of sound, and it's so peaceful to sit out there and have a drink once the kids are in bed and we can actually relax a little bit.
Construction-wise, a wood water feature goes against the grain a little.
It's all right.
But I think we pulled it off. You know, we wanted it to have that Japanese tub feeling.
You know what? That
so
is the
great.
level of noise you need. It's perfect for water
Really
features.
beautiful.
It's just subtle.
This just turned out amazing. All
Love
of
it, man.
Well, the water feature is a focal point right in the middle of the garden, so you
Yeah.
see it from the inside.
Exactly.
When you're here in the
Wraps.
lounge, you can look
Yeah.
at it.
And
Where's the apartments go?
Exactly. That was one of the issues on the site. The
Oh, there
client
they
wanted
are.
to have some privacy to the apartments, and so the privacy screens.
You know what's really cool too is the wall that was there before. You don't even notice it with it painted out that dark black.
I'm getting tired of saying dark black stain, but it works every time.
It looks great.
Yeah.
The challenging part of this site when we originally saw it was the slope. It sloped down into this little pit down here with the crappy old shed. And now it feels like it's a nice level garden and they can use all of it for entertaining.
It all works. Not one person hasn't been happy with this project, so except Heidi and Brendan. I don't know. I hope they're happy.
I got the West Coast feeling that I was hoping to get. Nice and relaxed.
Love it. And you know what? Everybody else loves it too.
But do you know what is something that's really been brought out too that we didn't notice so much before is the bark on that ash. Really amazing.
Isn't that the biggest ash you've ever seen in your
It's the
life?
nicest ash I've seen in a while.
I don't know. I don't think it's an
I've
ash.
seen it better than James'
It's a
ash.
It's an ash.
That's either a limit or
Actually, you
a
know what?
pathway.
I'll tell you guys.
That's the nicest ash. He's got the second nicest ash. Third nicest ash.
You know what it is? You know what it is?
I don't care what it is. It's a big, beautiful tree.
It's a poplar.
Yeah.
You know, I think you might be right.
It's just. No, I won't. Oh, jeez.
It's the landscaping show with attitude.
Want to give me a call back when you get your ass out of bed?
It's tough.
This is a tough site.
I don't think it gets any harder than this.
It's rough. Sometimes it's mean.
You're a loser.
So it's amazing we can actually make the gardens look this good.
The appeal of a lawn bowling green in the morning is irresistible. I'm Joel. This is Kennedy, James, and Lauren. And Dirty Business likes a little low-stress, highly starched competition now and again. It's a kinder, gentler way to get grass stains.
Now I'm going to turn you all into great bowlers. It's not actually round, it's a little bit egg-shaped. It will always roll in toward the jack.
What's a jack?
That's the jack.
Oh, that's a jack.
To be a lawn bowler, you should be a team player.
I'm about to take both of them out.
Oh, that's way too hard.
I'd like to introduce you to James Free Money Dale.
Remember the word smooth.
Smooth. We're hopeless.
People may not think it's very demanding, but it can be. Oh my gosh.
It's harder than it looks. Well, part of it at least.
Yes, Fred.
This place reminds me of our next client's front yard. It may be as flat as this, but holds none of the charm.
It's not a big project, but it's a great end of the season project so we can wrap things up. I mean, we might get stung and we might have a week of work that we have to finish next spring.
So why even bother starting just weeks before the first snowfall? We'll let Jennifer tell it.
It's kind of like a parking lot or an airport landing strip. We did a massive renovation, and it's a holdover from what was here before. We've been desperate to make it look a lot better.
The client's taking this project on now, I think because they've aced it inside, the interior is beautiful, and now it's time for the landscape.
We were kind of looking to ride the knife edge between modern and traditional, if that's possible.
They're also looking for a defined walkway so it has some character. They're looking still to accommodate parking for a car and a half and soften it with plant material.
We're hoping to get the yard done before the snow falls because we want to start the spring fresh.
The only problem is the client won't be able to appreciate their plant material because it's going in end of the year.
We've been looking forward to this for a long time, and we're super happy to finally have it going.
And who better to get it rolling than Lauren, our chief designer.
The things that are the most important, of course, even though it seems like a minor thing, are locating the sidewalk so I know the distances from the house to the sidewalk for square footages of material that we require and the type of plant material we can put in.
Right now it's all parking. We want to soften up the entrance to their house, give them a little bit more curb appeal, but still allow for a couple cars to park there, but have a nice entry. We have a great picture of Jennifer's house. It's at the moment of a nuclear explosion.
Well, wonderful. Printer's doing a great job.
Basically, it's all lock stone.
Room for 3 cars now,
Room for
right?
3 cars.
Right.
And they're saying they're willing to go down to 1.5.
Oh, how do they drive the half car?
It's just this half, it's cut right in half, and they balance it.
The only thing that's going to do anything for this front is some vertical element.
Even the pattern of the paving in the parking space is going to be important because that's going to add architectural element to it. And it is a heritage area, so it's a beautiful Victorian neighborhood.
Yeah.
One thing everybody should know is that they want a defined walkway.
Well, wait a sec. There's quite a bit of room here. It's quite a wide lot, so I think there's lots of opportunity here to have a garden as well.
Yeah.
And a walkway.
Just don't let the car pull up in front of the stairs. I hate when driveways, your car is pulled up and the stairs are in front of your car.
I don't like that.
That's a great point.
It drives me crazy.
This is a long walkway, and this is their kitchen table, and it's open all the way to the back.
So when they're walking down the hallway, the view right out the front door, and it's got a glass front door, goes right to the sidewalk, basically, in the street. So it'd be nice to have some sort of vista. So the cars can still park here.
There was some room to plant in here, which is great. And then definitely to get something going along across front here.
Yeah.
But you know what? I gotta give these guys 100% credit for taking away some of this hardscape. Good job.
We love it. Will Jennifer?
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Hi, Joel. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. A bit of a rainy day.
Yes.
How are
perfect
things?
day.
It's always great when you can come into people's homes and see their exterior and see how the flow is. There's this beautiful access and flow with the house, and so we're trying to pick up on that and sort of stop your eye from just going right to park cars and asphalt and put in some plant material.
Okay, that's great.
And then we wanted to clad this existing timber wall.
Yes.
I just wanted to actually make sure that that's okay with the neighbors.
Yeah,
or if
we
still have to
talked to our
them?
neighbor, and he was delighted, and he said maybe you could do it on his other side too.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
And I guess the only thing I'm not completely clear on is how we're managing the elevation here.
The intention is to take this dilapidated wall out and rebuild it. I'm really excited to take out this weed tree.
Yeah.
Because there's a beautiful crabapple in there.
Yeah, there's actually 2 different types of crabapple in there, oddly enough. It really is beautiful, so we'd like to keep it.
Absolutely.
Along with the weed tree, we're shedding the tired interlock pavers. They're off to be recycled. And that tree is history. So is the pressure-treated retaining wall. It might be late in the year, but it might as well be spring. So how's it looking?
It's looking good. We got everything, all the shrubberies out, and we're gonna start putting in some timbers for the retaining wall.
It's amazing how that even makes a big difference, eh? This line here, realizing how much room they actually use for their car, might come down a little bit. If we can give them more planting as opposed to hardscape, that'd be great.
For being little more than a parking pad, this place is jammed with stuff. Now that's a clean slate.
It's not even 8:30. These guys don't get out of bed till 10.
I'm afraid I can't take your call right now, so please leave a message. Thank you very much.
Hey Joel, it's Kevin here. Just got a little situation. Want to give me a call back when you get your ass out of bed? Talk to you later.
Loves that voice. Loves it. I don't know why. It's creepy.
We're making it way better by reducing the size of the parking and increasing the size of the plantings. Get this guy a talent agent quick.
I broke it.
Yeah, right.
That's nice and level.
Excellent.
New pressure-treated wood for the timber walls is going in, and we're cladding it in cedar for a combo of strength and beauty. Once that's done, the guys prepare the parking pad surface for some new pavers. And because of that, we've got to land on just the right kind.
What do you got for me today?
Well, boss,
What do you got for me today?
Get over here. It's coming down to Belden paver.
Yeah, one of my favorite.
Natural flagstone, banding.
My second favorite.
Yep. Well, just as a banding, it would be a little too much to do the whole driveway out of this, or asphalt.
Asphalt, I think, is great for a big driveway filler and then maybe doing some banding, but when you're dealing with a little downtown property,
Might overwhelm.
yeah, it might.
The client has, is interested in doing something that would be a bit more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
The Belden paver being a little more porous between the cracks and everything might be a better option.
I mean, it's a real clay paver with some stone aggregates added to it, so frost doesn't damage it. So it's really designed to go in the ground.
I think that makes for a really nice color combo. And the client does want a defined walkway, so it might be that this is what we use for the driveway, and this would be a nice thing to use for the walkway. But you know what do you think for a pattern?
I'm a huge believer in the good old herringbone 45 angle to the house.
Yeah, that creates a bit more interest when you're doing it.
That is the right way to do it.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, I'm gonna bounce that off Jen, and we'll go from there. Thanks.
That was the thing that we agonized over most. We wanted to be environmentally friendly. We wanted it to fit in. We wanted it to be practical. And so we landed with the brick that we think is the perfect choice. It works really well with the house, and we just like the fact that it's a bit different from what you usually see.
As winter creeps closer and closer, the flagstone arrives. And to the client, they look a lot bigger in person than on paper. She's having second thoughts about the size of the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Joel. Kevin here.
Yikes. I guess I should check my messages more often.
Get your ass out of bed.
Turns out that 1.5 parking spots are a bit impractical. So we're eating into the service berries to buy the rest of a second space.
She wants it on 2 feet. I think we'll take it from the planter bed. I'm going to try and make it more like 18 inches.
Okay. Talk to you later, Joel.
I hate it when he does that. So while the flagstones go in, we're finalizing the planting.
Parking lots can be beautiful.
Yes.
It's just choosing the right plant material that's going to go in there.
It'd be a nice sort of Acer Janella, like a flame maple, but in a standard form, or, serviceberry or something along those lines. I think something that doesn't get massive.
Right. When cars are parking, when people are walking, it's not going to poke them in the eye, so it has to have something that's high and bushy. So
Yeah, and it's has a bit of a formal feel, so I think it might be nice to look at like some nice clipped yew on the back planting bed, and on the front planting bed, some nice clipped boxwood, so it has a nice tiered
You're a
effect.
genius.
As you come
Did you know
up.
that?
And then maybe some grasses or something to loosen it up.
in the center.
Yes.
And I guess another challenge will be to have some foundation planting. That's often the toughest plant to choose, I find. You know what would be a good dad in here is lavender and beech.
She likes lavender.
Does she?
Actually, yeah.
Did we mention echinacea?
Echinacea, I think we should try and go after the white. Everybody uses the purple. I really like the white echinacea.
Yes, so do I. It's
that
kind of
lime.
creamy. Isn't it kind of creamy?
Beautiful.
But
And actually, the beech could even continue a little bit on the other side just to balance it out
oh,
a
I
little
see.
as well.
On this side, let's just try to screen that off, I think.
Yeah, I like to work with the existing crabapple. Maybe we could plunk in a couple more.
That might be a good idea.
We'll go with that.
All right, can we go to the nursery now?
Let's go take a look again.
Okay.
Who are we kidding? Nursery? Not a good idea with this kind of weather. In fact, it's even stopped the project in its tracks. Luckily, the snow didn't hang around, so we can get the pavers down in our focal herringbone pattern. Even if Jennifer wanted to go, there's not much to see at a nursery this time of year. She's going to have to go on pictures.
And so I was thinking that we could go with an amelanchier, which is a type of serviceberry.
Okay.
Beautiful white flower, wonderful berry in the summer.
What color are berries in the summer?
A red berry, and the great thing is they're not messy. But the other possibility might be a magnolia. And they're a little temperamental.
The magnolias are hard to keep up?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to have both delivered.
All right.
And we'll take a look and see which ones are the best.
Okay.
So we have an evergreen magnolia, which is a little bit out of the zone here.
But it's zonal denial.
It's zonal denial. We're in a hefty case of zonal denial.
That's it.
Or the amelanchiers. And I love the magnolias for being evergreen and having winter interest.
Yeah.
I just can't handle when things look out of context. I'm leaning towards the amelanchiers. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you with the amelanchiers.
The fall color, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too, and I think that I feel, looking at those magnolias, I feel like I may be in England, or I might be in the Carolinas or something.
Yeah. All right, and they don't look like a lot right now.
Yeah.
but they're going to look great for 3 other seasons of the year. And actually, you know what? Once they're uplit and they have everything else going around the bottom of them, I think they'll look really dynamite.
There's only one problem.
Hello, Peter.
Hi, Peter. This is Mrs. Jones. How are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm good. Yourself?
Very good. I was just wondering about this order. It's not all here.
How do you mean it's not all there?
Where are the rest of the plants?
Which west of what?
Yew, boxwood, beech, lavender, echinacea, grasses, some carex. Can you have it here tomorrow?
I can see what I can do. It might not be first thing, but it'll be there. Okay, I will work on it, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
We've been watching it sort of come together through snow and rain and mud. Until yesterday, it was hard to see what it was going to look like with plants, but I think now it's really starting to take shape.
The plants have arrived. It's a chilly day, and the perennials are looking a little smaller than I would have liked. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. They're going to be probably 2 or 3 feet high by midsummer next year. It's just, it doesn't always look great to clients. But I'm really happy with the crab apples. They look beautiful. These are ornamental crab apples. These berries stay on all winter. It stays nice and small, and it's not messy. And to me, this is great winter interest.
My favorite plants, I think, are the service berries. I really love the shape of them, and I love how they look from inside. I think those are my favorite right now.
These are beech, which is one of our favorites around the office. It's great for hedging, but we've brought them in small here, so we're going to have a nice sort of hedging wall across the front of the house. And actually, one of the things I'm really excited about with this planting plan is because the outside of the bed is square, we're going to do an oval shape on the inside. And then it's going to have free-flowing ornamental grasses coming from within the boxwood and within the yew.
Hey, you remember way back when?
So it's not a big project, but it's a great end of the season project so we can wrap things up. I mean, we might get stung and we might have a week of work that we have to finish next spring.
Well, we got stung. At least we've got something beautiful to look forward to come spring. Now with spring here, we've got to spruce it all up before we can show it off.
Claire,
hey,
how
honey.
are you?
I'm okay.
Good to see you. It looks great.
Yeah.
What are you up to?
Even a low-maintenance garden requires a little bit of something, right?
That's it. All our clients ask for no maintenance. Now I say, can't do no maintenance, but we can keep it low maintenance. So
that's true.
Yeah.
One of the great things, a cultivator.
Yep.
If you did it like every week, lightly cultivate it, keeps the weeds like way down because you're killing them when they're a few centimeters high.
Well, yeah, the roots can't get established, I guess. So
yeah, that's right. You're getting them when they're seedlings,
yeah.
Right? And then, throwing, really good top quality soil on top in the spring, it really darkens up the soil, really, really gives it great nutrition. It's like this serviceberry, right? It's a great tree. You want to look at sort of 4 things: dead, diseased, damaged, and interfering. Well, there's really no dead on it. There's no diseased. There might be a broken, twig or something in here, and then interfering. You want to take stuff that's crossing back.
Right.
That's just not pleasing to the eye, and ultimately it's not very healthy for the plant.
Right.
So we take out things that are kind of going off in a wrong direction at an early age.
Gotcha.
So that we have a mature plant that has a really great shape.
Well, it's looking great. I'll let you go with it, and
Okay.
I'm on my way. Ciao, babe.
Mwah.
Excellent.
Oh,
beautiful job, Joel.
Beautiful herringbone.
This is great.
Love it.
This was a tough site, man. This is a site that you probably wouldn't get totally like, wow, thrilled, enamored about because it's parking cars, and then get as creative as possible to still include definition to a walkway and make it feel lush and green and beautiful with plant material. One hell of a nice parking pad.
We are just so happy that it's done because it was just such a nightmare before.
I love using the description of train wreck for how it was, and I think it's been wonderfully cleaned up.
It just seems like it was meant to be. It just relates so well to the house, the colors and the textures.
This driveway doesn't look harsh.
It's kind of warm, actually.
Yeah, I don't mind looking at this. It makes the house, it actually shows it off well. It's kind of cool.
Warm color.
We went with the Belden paver, which we've used in the past, but it's beautiful.
It feels restful somehow to me because it's linear without being overly formal.
So nice the transition between where the pedestrian walkway is and where the car will park.
I think that idea that it's not just a straightforward walkway when you step out, so there's some interest. It has a slight jog in it. Plant material breaks it up a little bit. A great design tip for anybody working on their own home is consider every different angle. There's 360 degrees that have to be considered. And here, I realized on leaving their house, their focal out their door from the inside of the house is hugely important. So hence, 2 beautiful standard service berries went in to soften your eye and stop your eye on something beautiful.
In the springtime, they flowered, and you can see them from inside the house when we're eating, so that's really nice.
We tried to work with the existing crabapple and put in 3 more, so that should really help soften it and make it for a beautiful flower in the springtime. So with the planting plant, all plants have an important role. What we like to do is to work with the larger plants and work your way down. So from trees to shrubs to perennials. And then it becomes detailed right down to each perennial.
It is a young garden. You know, what will this will look like in a couple of years will be dramatically different. So, you know, just remember that.
When this fills in, it will really be
absolutely
extraordinary.
It's not our job to overwhelm the house with plant material or make it too scarce with plant material. It's just trying to hit that right balance so that it complements the house.
It completely fit with the house, and that's completely a testament to Joel and his design team.
It's a very distinct type of neighborhood. There's a lot of sort of older brick homes. It's downtown. So I feel like the garden really reflects that. The Belden paver helps to tie that in. And then it's complemented with plant material. Even though it's a parking pad, it will have a lushness when it grows in, and it's already well on its way.
Excellent.
All right, see you.
I'm in for an ale myself. God, I really don't like this door anyway.
Jeez.
Stud here. Right there.
Where's the stud?
Right there.
All right.
Don't punch
Where's
here.
the stud? Right there?
Don't punch here.
You really want to tear that thing down? Why are you forcing it? I'm not the violent one in this group.
Okay, that wall's coming out.
Just to make it perfectly clear, that will never air on TV. Can we get back to business here? This is freaking me out.
Hi, we're home.
This is not good TV, I think.
It was a quiet street. But something else was lurking beneath the soil.
We just found something, and I'm frightened by it.
What started out as a simple landscape project
I've never seen anything like that in all my years.
became something quite different. But then it looked nice in the end.
It looks amazing, man.
Things are always busy at Dirty Business. Especially today, because I'm starting a new project.
Can you tell me what type of a house is it?
So, well, Nadia and Johnny have killed it. We're shooting here.
No, thank you.
Okay, maybe I better not explain this in the office. This is Nadia's house.
As you look at our house, you can see that from the sidewalk, it's hard to figure out how to get to our house because you either have to go around the driveway or you have to go on the pathway that is actually next to our neighbor's driveway, which makes it look like it's the neighbor's. And so we sort of found it really difficult saying, how can we define that space?
I'd like to separate the car parking area from the pedestrian walkway. Right now it's all one big blob and absolutely no curb appeal to it.
It's such a big brick house to begin with. We need to just soften it up with some more like greenery, really.
There's absolutely nothing green except a dead lawn. Well, it's not even green, it's brown. There's weeds growing up there. They are embarrassed, I'm pretty sure.
So we want to clean this place right up. And to do that, I need Lauren's help to come up with a killer design.
Well, we're trying to create a little bit of a formal feel, and we're just trying to give them a direct route out to the street and give them a walkway that is specifically for a person to walk on, rather than have to walk on the driveway. Right now, the driveway curves in, and it's really quite awkward.
Yeah,
there's this big stump.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest issues there, was this huge maple had died, so we've got this great big hump.
If we can take out the stump, then we can level the hump and widen the driveway so there's a direct route into the garage.
And also the bottom step here, there's some existing concrete steps.
Yeah.
It drops off quite a bit there, like 18 inches or something.
Yeah.
So I was proposing to give them a nice intermediate landing.
Yeah.
Steps down on either side, and then gentle steps coming down the center, so the doorway has a central sort of alley, and then differentiate between them and the neighbor with some taller trees.
Right away, I love this design. I think it's really elegant for the house. One of the main things was that house is so tall that they want to, get it down to scale. So I love the use of those trees anchoring the front. So that's going to really create some weight.
And bringing up this landing a little bit gives them the option also, because they still have to go around their backyard. So there'll be a nice central area here to decide, oh, do I go to the car? Do I go to the backyard?
That's right. Another thing that's really kind of freaks me out at this house is actually...
Freaks you out?
Yeah, it does. It really freaks me out.
Bothers you immensely?
Mentally, immensely bothers me, is the fact that this neighbor, it looks like right now that they have a great big driveway. But how do you say politely to someone that you're about to take back your
I think you just say, hey, Bob and Mary, here's the property line. Do you mind if we plant it up here? So the trees we're proposing is the Chanticleer ornamental pear.
Big one. You know what? I'm getting freaked out again because you know what? We spec a tree, it better be available, because it's one of the biggest problems is sometimes we spec a tree and we sell a tree and we want that tree, then we can't get that tree.
So that's why
it better be available.
Which one is that?
Why Chanticleer pear, you say?
This summer we went to France and I was really inspired by Villandry, and I actually have a picture of us in front of the pear tree that we found in the middle of France.
Great, no pressure here. But in the meantime, I've got to get Nadia to approve this design.
We're just going to go over the gardens, ladies. Over the front garden. Yeah.
Pretty cool, eh?
Who's been cutting the lawn? Have you been doing the weeding? No?
No.
Has Mom been?
Nope.
Perfect. That's the way that's the way it always goes.
I know, so it'll be great before picture.
Concrete porch is going to look like a beautiful stone pad when we're done. We're going to veneer all of and chisel beautifully and face all the stone that's going to come down the staircase.
And so it's going to elevate about 2 inches, right?
That's right. So each of these will now you'll have a nice step riser about this thick.
Okay.
And it'll be a little bit of an overhang to give you a little bit of a detail and a shadow line.
Okay.
The faces will be chiseled on that. And then the veneering of the faces of the porch also will be done in stone. So.
Okay.
As for the asphalt?
We're going to be taking that with stone saw right out along the property line. And as you can see in the drawing right here, that's where these trees are going to be going now. So this property will look like yours again. I'm not trying to create a great big garden here with a big collection of things. Just want a nice statement, very simple.
30 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to, and we also want to keep in line with the street and everything, and not be too sort of.
Hopefully the whole street
crazy.
landscapes after this one.
There you go.
Good news. Nadia's on side with the design.
What do you guys think?
Good.
But there's one more thing I need before we can get started.
Really good.
Hey, sorry, I want to ask you, is that stone saw available yet?
Why, getting some pressure or needed or?
You know what? It's just been a while. They've been waiting, and I just want to get that job started.
No problem. I'll talk to Ron. I think they're probably a little delayed on their site, so.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
We're all with it.
Time to bring in Ron.
Hi, nice to meet you.
My general contractor.
The job will go quick if we have access to the driveway.
everything.
There's no cars involved.
Yeah.
We just can store everything here and just
Yeah,
keep
it's no
it
problem
moving.
because we can park on the street. So.
That is really easy going.
Excellent, excellent.
It's a little different here, and she's friends of mine, so we gotta behave. This driveway on this neighbor's property, well, that's just it. It looks like the neighbor's.
So we're more or less off this.
Yeah, pretty much off that is their property. So what we're doing is we're gaining it back. They actually sold this house. So Nadia really wanted to get us in here quick and reclaim the space before the new builder gets here, and they figure that's their driveway, and it's sort of all this red tape will ensue.
So they're gonna have a very narrow
driveway. Yeah.
Unfortunately, getting a quick start is easier said than done.
Hello, Nadia?
Yeah.
I just wanted to call you to let you know, Ron called me. He's got a broken stone saw, and the guys are dependent on that for the start of your job. And so So they packed up and left.
Oh, man. This job is supposed to be a piece of cake.
Usually, the gardens look like hell on these infill homes.
It's such a big brick house to begin with. We need to just soften it up with some more like greenery, really.
Because a lot of infill houses are going on in this area. This one, they're gonna see what actually you can do with a garden on an infill house.
So the trees we're proposing is the Chanticleer ornamental pear.
One, you know what? I'm getting freaked out again.
I've spoke to Natty about them. They're the only ones she wants. Well, you can't get them ever because they're really popular.
Now that the stone saw's fixed and as good as new, we're getting going. First, it's refacing Nadia's front steps. Meanwhile, my next step,
All right, who are we calling?
is to try and track down some pear trees.
I got an idea.
Please leave a message and we'll get right back to you.
No luck so far. But over at Nadia's house, they're laying the foundation for the landing at the bottom of the stairs.
No one's available to take your call.
Still no pear trees.
You know why I'm doing this, don't you? Yeah, shut off. We're using the hockey stick because it's tall and red. And hopefully people will stay away from it.
And by people, Ron actually means himself, as he gets rid of Nadia's big old tree stump.
That's good use for Dad's hockey stick.
Hopefully that was garbage.
That was garbage, don't worry, absolutely. I'm thrilled. So far, so good. As I stand in front of the rubble, I'm thrilled. Pretty cool, eh?
She's really cool. It's going along really smooth. So the
this will be
concrete
on.
pour, by the way, the concrete pour was done, and the stairs, the lower concrete pad, it's already formed, and they're stoning it up today.
It's all moving along nicely.
Have a good day.
Morning.
The good news is that everything is on the level. The better news, I found some pear trees.
Beautiful. So these are the pear trees.
And there's 6, right?
Yeah, so you know what? It's exactly like Nadia's house right here. You can see what's going to happen at her house. Here we go. So here we are, Nadia's house actually, right here, Lauren.
This is perfect.
The alley. Nadia, how are you?
Sizes.
Let's go. Let's walk up to the front door. One,
Delivering
two
pizza.
steps up. Hey, beautiful alley entrance. I love it.
As they mature, they'll fill in too, so you'll be able to walk right underneath them. So
These are the perfect trees, and Nadia here is proof that they are in stock. I actually anticipated much smaller ones.
So did I.
And here I am, and honestly, I'm worried that these are going to get snapped up.
I'm really happy. I think the client will be really happy too.
Yeah,
Nadia.
me too. And one thing to note on these trees is they're so disease tolerant. That's why even the cities, they start planting these in the boulevards.
They're the perfect city tree because they're pollution resistant too.
And they're just such a beautiful pyramidal shape to them. I love them. And that's why you can never, ever get them because they're always out of stock.
Yeah, they're tough to find.
And speaking of pollution resistant, we've got one more obstacle before starting on Nadia's alley.
This is the most dangerous part of the job.
It's a dirty business, but somebody's got to do it.
Stump that was intact here one time is no longer viable. We were able to rip it out in no time, as you see. The last job we did, it took about 4 days to get the stump out, and it weighed as much as that skid steer. I was really frightened of this one because I thought we'd get into thousands of dollars worth of hours of removals and everything, but look at this, it's gone.
Unfortunately, it's not the only part of Nadia's front yard that's gone.
What's this? Look at this. We just found some, and I'm frightened by it. You guys got a shovel? Look at this. Is anyone in there? Look at how, you know how deep that is? It goes way down. Look at it. Buddy, when you put a walkway over this hole, look at it, I'm not kidding, it's like 3-4 feet deep in there. Take a look at that. This is where James disappears into freaking sinkhole. I've never seen anything like that in all my years. Get the homeowner out here. Nadia, it's about the passageway to China in front of your house here.
Holy f***. This is one of the pitfalls of landscape.
Look at it's huge. Buddy, have we found a grave? This is freaking weird.
Ron's got to do something to make this hole disappear.
There's no hole anymore. Yeah, we just gently buried it.
Ron can jump for joy, but there's still one thing I'm worried about.
You're on film right now. I need to talk to you. I need to know. I can't believe we get anything done in this office.
We're about to reclaim this driveway, and our measurements better be exact.
They're going to cut the driveway right now. I need to know if the line is exact. 3 feet from the corner of the house? From the corner of the new house?
Yeah, 3 feet.
3 feet off that foundation wall. Don't go off the stucco. You know as well as I know what happens when it's 3 foot, ½ inch, and we have to replace the whole driveway.
Been there.
There's a hole. You should have seen the cavern we found under there.
How's the neighbor?
I haven't heard another word about it. We'll find out when it's all done.
Well, because it's legal. It was their property. There was not a right of way in the survey, so it's basically a non-issue.
The lesson here? Make sure you've got an up-to-date survey.
What's the status of chicken right now?
I drove by on Saturday, actually. They had put the driveway all in.
Oh, cool.
Finished it. The trees that are in my backyard are going to be installed tomorrow. Right. And I have to order the rest of the plant material, but that means I have to go meet Nadia about the plants. So you went to France and you saw some boxwood.
Yes.
Well, I managed to call the guys yesterday, and they do have some 60-centimeter boxwoods. 60 centimeters. So
Like that high?
what's happening here is we're switching up. We're no longer going to put the service berries in. Originally, we had planned on putting the service berries right down this row, so they're pretty high. But we were just concerned we don't want to create a barrier between the neighbors. We want a really nice, good fences make good neighbors. So we're going to keep it low, nice evergreen hedge. So it's going to be a boxwood hedge. 20 boxwood are going to go down the row. Now, do you think, do you want them on the inside, sort of right at the property line, the boxwood, so that you, in fact, have a nice bed in front of the boxwood?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll put them against the neighbor's property line here. So underneath the pear trees, the 6 pears that are coming, we were going to put in some PG hydrangea unique, right? So they have a really beautiful white cascading flower in the springtime. It lasts for actually probably a couple months, and then it kind of dries out and it stays on. So you can actually cut them off and bring them in if you want. Like your neighbors here, this is the euonymus here. It's an evergreen, a broadleaf evergreen.
Yeah.
The euonymus we're going to put in your property is euonymus coloratus, which is a ground cover, same leaf, but not variegated. And it goes into a beautiful purple in the wintertime and the fall. It'll grow it into the driveway a little bit, and so it'll just soften that edge a little bit, like a nice carpet.
That will give us a really nice hierarchy with the euonymus, the hydrangea, and then the trees.
We're going to put the trees right down the pipe on both sides, so when you're looking up them, you should only see one trunk. Oh, look. We have some trees. They're not too bad. Don't go inside. We'll keep it on the property line so that today it's not over the property line. Tomorrow it will be, and then they can prune it. We take it away over on this side. We cut the drive and we give it on this side. That's right.
Those people are moving, these people are staying.
These people are moving, these people are staying, so we know who to keep happy here.
Yeah. And hopefully when Nadia sees her finished yard, she'll be happy too.
I just wanted to show you guys we're almost done here. Hey?
It looks amazing, man.
Pretty cool.
I saw it without the steps in, man. I didn't even know this was going in like this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're absolutely thrilled with it.
Such a high house, now it's brought down and there's a pedestrian It's just alley right through to the front door. Now the front door is a focal point instead of this big tall house.
The stonework looks amazing. And a beautiful planting plan, man. I love the hydrangeas. These pears, when they grow in and you walk under this sort of cathedral feeling, to complement that front entrance, amazing.
The biggest surprise for me was realizing the depth of the property. There was no depth before. It was just the driveway and a patch of grass, and that was about it. And so now, when you actually have a walkway that can get you to and from the house, it's just amazing to see that there's, a real line.
So now we've broken up parking from the pedestrian entrance.
You know what I love and I'm always amazed at is the fact that you still have like a large landing of stone and you're accessing it from 3 sides, which takes up space, and just this beautiful, subtle 2.5-foot planting bed on either side softens everything.
And I love the trees, I have to say. That was a real work of art by James, saying, it's going to be pear trees and that's going to really scale the house properly. And I didn't know. I was sort of like, really? That's going to work? Because the house is really high and the trees are kind of short. And he said, no, it'll work.
Every piece of interlock was from the original driveway. So it's kind of cool. We reused all this interlock, to keep costs down a little bit. Yeah. Not that much, but, to reuse the materials, which is really cool.
You know what the big thing is with these sites? Telling people you can put 6 trees in your front yard. People be like, 6 trees?
You're
what are you,
crazy.
mental?
Nadia said to me, one thing that she had trouble understanding and when in the plan view was this area here, how it was going to look. And the hydrangeas, when we popped them in, she was just smiling ear to ear.
James, how come they didn't put trees on the other side?
Well, what happened is Nadia went to France with her husband Sheldon and the kids, and they saw boxwood and really wanted this. So one other thing is that feeling like you're conveying to your neighbor if you put big trees in is like, we don't like you, goodbye. Well, here she said, she's really tight with the neighbors, so you want to keep it low and clean, so, interact. So it's kind of it's a balance.
I really love it because it reminds me of our holiday and in France, and it takes a little piece of my heritage and drops it here.
You know what? It seems like a nice, clean, tight job. It's very simple. Really well done.
Yeah, it's
well executed.
You can't even remember what it used to look like. It looks so different.
These are Chanticleer pears.
Just the columnal pear.
They're more upright, columnar, erectus fastidiata.
Yes, erectus, my favorite plant.
Is there fruit?
No, they've been digitally mastered.
So the breeders have taken the, I don't know what the thingamajuggers have
They've
neutralized the.
They've made them,
neutered the
asexual.
Asexual.
It's no fun to be an ornamental pear.
Horticulturalists,
They can't be asexual. They're non-sexual, which means they don't have sex.
It's the landscaping show with balls.
That just caught my eye.
We're not afraid to deal with heavy topics.
Just an older machine and too much weight on the skid.
We've got great costumes. Ow! Snappy dialogue. And a man on a bike.
So I'm on my way to the Bowers residence.
To see it finished looks absolutely amazing. My name is Joel. I'm a landscape designer.
I believed it for a while.
Every Monday, my partners and I get together at the office to share a quick breakfast.
Have an egg.
No, oh wait.
And go over the client lineup.
Bowers, are they still?
Bowers has to start this week or we're gonna get yelled at.
The landscaping is so bad that we really want to update it in the driveway. The bushes that are there now are probably about 30 or 40 years old and are very tired.
Now, I'd like to say we're on schedule to fix this yard, but our office manager, Deb, has gone on vacation.
Is the schedule thing?
Yeah, let me just check it. Just check this. Where is the schedule?
I don't know.
It's only the most important thing ever in this company. Look at that, the doors are all locked.
They seem to listen to what we wanted, and that's important. And any time you're doing work with some professional, they have to learn to listen to the client.
Are these the keys?
Do you have a copy of the schedule, Kennedy?
No.
No, I have absolutely no apprehension.
I think next year we're vacationing all at the same time.
As long as the work goes smoothly, and I'm hoping it will, this will be simple, I'm sure.
Hey, no schedule.
So you guys have in your head generally when the schedule of the... Yeah. If worst comes to worst, and you have to wait until Deborah's return, right?
Well, here's the schedule.
Yeah.
We're booked solid, and we're behind a little bit.
Well, it's another beautiful start to a project.
The Bowers are trying to incorporate a traditional style mixed with a bit of a formal feeling, which works with the architecture of their house.
Just last year finished doing a significant major, we call it a deep cosmetic job in the interior of the house.
The Bowers seem to like straight lines and symmetry, so we'll extend that look to the outside.
You know, it's just a great, clean front yard. Looks amazing. I'm looking forward to showing it to them.
3 things we're trying to achieve with the Bower residence is a new front landing, sculpted planting, and a smaller driveway, making room for that planting.
We have a green light for the front, and it's quickly approaching, so it's a good time to...
And one of the reasons we wanted this meeting today is we have some things that we think, some concepts that we want to change. Just not large aspects of it, but planting and maybe a few other things, or things that we want to see if we can incorporate.
When a client is that detailed, it can sometimes be a concern.
The stone border is...
Natural stone.
Just lays on it. Right?
Most of our things dry laid. Yeah. If you did a concrete base, in our climate, there's room for it to heave, shift, and crack.
You always have that nervousness that you won't be able to do the job the way you're supposed to be doing it without interference.
With regard to the construction of the porch and the steps, what's the foundation?
Concrete pour on sonotube concrete footings.
Yeah. Grass is always difficult, I assume, to grow under the maple tree.
Maples are notorious for shallow roots, so the roots are really close to the surface, and so it might be a little bit challenging to plant in there because of that root structure. Yeah. And then there's, of course, the hydro pole. The focal point in your garden besides the maple tree is the hydro pole. So once everything else is going on, you won't even notice it so much. It's going to be softened with some plant material against the curb, but there's no sidewalks in this neighborhood.
You guys are elevated on your landing, and we talked about the idea when you look out, we don't want you to see cars going by and asphalt. The idea that this would be a nice row of columnar trees.
To break up the boundary with the neighbor.
Yeah, it should really help to define the space.
This should be a happy process. It should be a positive process. It shouldn't be filled with too much pain.
It looks good in drawings and it looks good in our heads, but until you actually start doing it, we'll see.
More eggs?
I just started measuring it for the
eggs.
Hello!
Kennedy.
Ron is our general contractor, and he'll be handling the Bowers job. I need him to check out the front steps, and if the base is in good enough shape, we can use it and save the client $5,000.
It was poorly done. Like the stonework's chicken crap.
It doesn't look like it's all cracked up or anything.
I'll let you make the call.
The foundation might be, well, we'll take it down and see.
So why dabble in conjecture? Let's get Ron down to Richard's place and have a look at those dodgy steps.
You can see that it's not solid underneath here, so we got a concrete pour on top of the old existing wall.
Yeah, for me, that's good. I was worried it was solid.
Well, it's not really good because we were hoping we could salvage and build up on top of existing. So as it is right now, we're going to have to keep on tearing it down.
The bad news is the steps have to be completely torn out. The good news is we can save the retaining wall. So goodbye steps, goodbye old bushes, and hello new limestone. Ooh, that ain't right.
It's just an older machine and there's too much weight on the skid.
This is not how you want to start a project.
So I'm on my way to the Bowers residence, and I'm really excited that it's finally getting started.
Unfortunately, the excitement is short-lived. Let's see if someone slightly heavier has better luck. Well, what do you know? James and I go over the project details one more time.
Coming along?
Yeah. And find something
that just caught my eye.
That could be funny,
I've never seen
kind of
the likes
interesting.
of two of those together like that. Anyways.
Anyhow.
Okay, so over here.
Pipe fittings that look suspiciously like...
It's the landscaping show with balls.
The roots underneath this maple are a little more serious than we were expecting.
Yeah, for sure they are. They always are. Urban street trees, especially Norway maples, they are the bane of any garden design installation you do because of the shallow roots on them.
The good thing is, I guess we've been down the road with it enough that we do know some viburnums and dogwoods and ground cover will go.
Well, we can deal with the old maple's roots, but the old driveway's gotta go. We're going to dry lay a limestone border and the walkway to the front door. And now that the hardscaping's underway, it's time to think of the softscaping, also known as the plants in the trees.
Oh, Japanese pagoda tree. Well, it's overwhelming. It's a large place and there's lots of plants.
They've got a lot of nice specimens here, but we don't know what they are.
And that's where I come in.
Yeah.
There it is.
Hi. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
These are absolutely beautiful. Eastern redbud, Cercis canadensis. They have the multi-stem, which I love because it looks absolutely dynamite uplit.
This is for what area?
I would use these as the 4. When you step out your door, they'd look absolutely amazing.
They're already about 8 feet tall.
It's your house. If you feel like that's a little too heavy or too much, we'll tone it down.
Yeah, I think it's a bit big.
Okay. In this industry of landscape design, you could just be doing plant material design alone. You have to consider so many things. Light, sun, shade, structure, flower, how it's going to look after 1 year, how it's going to look after 5 years, how it's going to look after 60 years. These dogwoods would be a great option.
And these are the fall leaves color.
That's right.
Maybe we're making headway.
This one looks good. Is this one good or
That's
no?
a great one.
The Bowers want a row of trees at the edge of their property to define the space. I'm thinking hornbeam.
This is the hornbeam. This is columnar. You can see by that nice shape. That's why we want it. It's not going to overwhelm your property or the neighbor's property. The leaf stays on in the winter. So it has some nice winter appeal.
Falls off in the spring or just...
Falls off in the spring, new leaves come out.
Sadly, this batch is already sold.
I put a phone call into the grower and they are hopeful that they can get more. Now the fact that the client has been out here, it makes me feel great because I don't have to worry that when the plant material does show up, they're not going to like it.
Another meeting and more breakfast.
Toast, toast, toast. Bowers is moving along. We went out to the grower with them last week. Very particular, which is great. Found some nice specimens. Still have to have another meeting with them regarding the shrubs and perennials. With the Bowers, they are right on it. They want to know what's going on. And they just are very, very detail-oriented people.
How deep's the gas line? It's gonna be 4 feet, but just go shallow. Just shallow, that's it. That's it, we'll take the rest by hand.
We're digging all the holes, but now we've got to find something to fill them with.
We were thinking that the dwarf Korean lilacs would look really sharp on the left-hand side of the stairs as you're leaving the house.
Okay.
We like putting it by a front doorstep because it is so fragrant. Out of 100 species of shrub, there's really only 5 to 7 that will grow fairly well underneath the maple. This Viburnum judei is actually really quite fragrant for their flower. This is the fall color. It's a dynamite red fall color.
From the street, I wanted the porch and the doorway to be the focus point.
You know, we don't want that to be lost.
And the planters
with
on the
too
porch.
tall of a planting there.
If you want to leave it as a semi-ground cover, I'm completely fine with that.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to factor like why I should pick one or the other, the ground cover versus the bush.
What I look for in our climate is because we spend so many months with where I don't want you just looking at dirt, I look for winter interest. And
The ground cover is great for winter interest. It stays green.
Right.
And the viburnums, they still have winter interest in that they're a nice woody shrub. So you're not looking at dirt.
I think this calls for a compromise. We're going to plant the Euonymus coloratus and the viburnum, and they'll both look great year-round. But our planting plan may have a hitch.
What do you need, buddy?
I need to know, there's two things on both your orders for Joel and James. Dwarf Korean lilac do not look good, so we're not going to ship the ones we have.
Oh, great.
I need dwarf Korean lilacs. And I need viburnums.
We might have to go elsewhere.
If you want them that bad, or we'll try to get some other kind. They're not going to be the prettiest.
Are they going to be fine in the spring?
Are they going to be fine in the spring?
Yeah.
I'll take
8. I'll take my regular order.
I'll take my regular order.
Okay, so that's 2 regular orders. Do you guys want fries with that?
You're turning comical, buddy.
We averted disaster on the first phone call, but the second one is another matter.
Okay.
What? Not happy?
I'm not happy with the landing area. It dips and it's up and it's down, so I'm a little disappointed.
The thing that makes everything okay with this guy is he's a really nice guy.
In between the rebar stake and the gas can, it has a slight twist in it, but they're not in their final resting position, so that's why it might look a little shifted or twisted. He wanted this tread made a little bit more level.
I'm going to be seeing it every day, and I have a very critical eye, and if something's off, it will bother me and would have to be corrected, so might as well do it now.
Basically, it's a pain in the butt to change, but if they want to change it, then we change it, so.
Richard has said that, he's a little OCD.
I'm just OCD in a nice way, like, I just like things done. I guess possibly when I'm at work, I'm known to be a little bit demanding.
It's a little like detail-oriented.
No, that's not something that somebody would normally notice.
Typical of a client that used to drive me crazy. And you know what? After a while, you learn how to handle that and how to be with that, and it's totally okay. You just know you're going to get a call that day, every day, saying what's going on. You know you're going to have to give a little extra, and it's fine.
We have a lot of boxwood.
41.
Well, it's gonna be instant.
Joel, is your grass?
How much do I owe you?
We'll talk later.
The viburnums over here and the dwarf Korean lilac. Here. Those guys are going in the front bed here. The dwarf Korean lilacs, which are supposed to go in this area here, weren't looking the greatest. And so we decided we'd put up with it, knowing that they'll bounce back and look beautiful next spring. So they want it nice and simple. So these U's are going up here, and the boxwood are going down here.
Okay, two-handed.
Wow. Guys, I can't emphasize enough. Straight as an arrow. Richard's very particular, and if someone is that particular about stonework and things like that, you can kind of expect they're going to be even more particular about plant material.
We trust Joe. I mean, that's Joel's one of his favorite sayings is, trust me. And you always, no matter what anybody says, that there's always, you have your own perspective. You always sort of say, well, I trust him, but, it's not always so much of trust. It's also a matter of preference.
Horn beams are looking good, nice and straight. Okay. You can tell this one's still a little off. Put the level on it. That's a lot better.
The end result will be quite nice, I'm sure.
I think he's happy, so can sleep. We definitely will go for a drink after this one. Finish the project up, we're looking at doing the concrete pour at the top of the stairs, cladding it with the natural flagstone, putting the asphalt in for the driveway, sodding, and then just adding in a few extra plant materials to send it home.
Looks like we're finally on a roll here. Or maybe not.
This landing had gone further into the grassed area. And when I saw sort of the roughed out layout, I just thought there was not going to be enough grass, so we cut it back, and maybe cut it back too much, because now there's this line from the end of the landing going down along the dogwood planting area. I just not quite happy on this linearity. I think it would look better if it's cut out, it's just to bring it out so that the landing is just defined quite separately from the dogwood planting area. I think Joel will agree with me, but he has to, I guess.
Great.
Yeah.
Another phone call.
I hate when he points it out without me catching it, because he's right. But anyways.
Measurements and all, we're rolling to the end of another project. And this one's going to be a sizzling masterpiece. Literally.
Wow.
Nice, man, nice.
Great, Joel. It's a nice bit of an improvement, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The porch, way less obtrusive than the other porch. But of course, you remember the porch was so huge and those massive stairs. This is way better.
Yeah, and it gave us some nice room for planting beds.
It's a huge, huge difference from what it used to look like.
A garden doesn't have to be a ton of different plant species.
Yeah.
Here's just 5 to 7 main plant species massed out.
Nice blocks, which makes it an architectural feeling too.
The yews are perfect. They'll get a little bit higher, and we'll keep them nice and clipped.
And that'll probably go about the size of the window eventually.
I think that would be nice.
No,
I think that'd be a nice height.
I
like the change in evergreens, because you could have easily done this in yews again.
Yew and boxwood, I find to just be two of the nicest, classiest evergreens you can get.
Yeah. And there's a large number of plants. It's like it's almost a mature garden already, so that certainly is makes it a little more exciting at the end.
One thing that's kind of overlooked, I think, by people sometimes is the importance of urns like this.
Yeah.
Only because you can change them all the time. You know, the whole garden fills in and it comes back the same the next year.
You mean change them as in we can put seasonal planting?
Yeah, yeah. Even the existing trees, again, it always goes back to that point where as soon as you do the design around these trees, they seem like they were meant to be in these locations.
Yeah, they belong.
If you design them properly in, it's
That's
like,
right.
wow, these totally fit this space.
One of the issues that the client was looking for as well was to define the space and create a bit of privacy. And it wasn't like we just wanted to roll in and put a fence down either side of the property, so plant material was able to achieve that quite well. I'm absolutely floored and blown away by the quality of stonework, especially on the steps. I love it.
The hair of this house was done in that feeling of heavy, that heaviness with stone. If you you do this chintzy and you do this like thin like this, it has such a weak quality to it.
If the whole driveway was done in flagstone, it would have cost a fortune. So this is just a nice touch to bring it across here and have a focal point.
And it tones the driveway down, so it's not like, oh God, like this is all driveway and we got this little entrance. So no, this whole thing kind of feels like entrance to the
like
house.
a little courtyard.
Yeah.
That's right. You use a high-end material with something that's not as high-end, and it brings that material up a notch. A lot of times, I think people in our industry don't realize that their job is to complement the architecture of a house. And so that's all that's happening. It's a formal, traditional house and a formal, traditional garden.
It was a pleasure. There was nothing negative at all about it, and we learned a lot and appreciated things, I think, a bit more.
We're very pleased.
Nice work, guys.
Thank you. Nice work.
Thank you.
Sure.
So, Joel.
Yeah. That gets cut.
So tell me, pool head.
Yes. That gets cut.
Help it out? Only because there's a camera here.
That gets cut. That gets cut.
You can't smoke it. Well, yeah, I'm sure you could.
That gets cut.
You're pretty tough there, Joel. Well, I'm a pretty tough guy. You probably saw me breaking a nail, taking some of the plants off.
That gets cut.
I really want to just hurry up and get on to the next job.
Okay.
In a world of lost plants, dark secrets lie in wait.
Well, that's their cat.
Where rare flowers and mysterious creatures commingle in a strange brew.
That's disgusting. Look at all the centipedes and stuff. Oh, shit.
The world's coming to an end.
Actually, it's not so bad.
Wow.
I love this.
So do I.
Take a look at Margaret's place. Just renovated. It looks great on the inside. Out back, that's another story. I'm Kennedy, landscape designer, and I'm going in. Margaret?
Kennedy.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
We've been in this house for 27 years, having an urban garden and a very small garden. It needs to just be that, unashamedly, honestly, an urban garden. Somewhat, rambunctious.
Rambunctious? What does that mean?
It has to be somewhere that we really feel comfortable and it's not too precious. I like the overgrown, unplanned, slightly chaotic feeling of it. Something really strong and spilling. Do you know what this is, Kennedy?
One thing's for sure. Margaret loves her plants. I wonder how that'll come into play here.
I don't know if we should keep this or just bulldoze it.
I want to keep that. Oh, and this fabulous vine, which we went to great lengths to save when we did the renovation.
I was kind of trying to figure out what the sling was all about. Look at how twisty and old that is.
Yeah.
So you want to save that?
Yes.
Okay, maybe in summer.
The materials, too. I love concrete, corten steel and cladding and all that sort of stuff, and I really like that. And I like the contrast between those and the plant material. But I also would like wood because I like the warmth of wood.
Interesting juxtaposition. Chaos outside, calm inside. Can only try.
So you got something to work with?
Yeah.
Sure do. So first on the list is getting the yard measured up.
Wow.
Yep, this is it.
Wow. This kitchen is incredible. So obviously this deck's coming out.
Yeah, they want to get lower.
Yeah, they're really exposed up here, so.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Don't look under there.
Oh, why? I'm kidding. What is it?
It was a...
Ew.
It was
That's gross. I mean, you throw... Whoa, shit.
See? Oh my God. For messing around with this stuff that was here before.
It'd be great to have a secondary destination back here.
Yes.
But these seem like the type of clients that really want something a little bit different, so we're not going to go down the traditional route.
No. Very good.
So let's start measuring. Is this sturdy?
Probably not.
Gotta get the grade right.
You're taller.
See, I'm 6'1".
Little did we know we'd find an artifact or someone else's lunch.
Is this the haunted garden or what?
No, that's their cat.
It's kind of scary. Like, don't come back here after midnight.
After midnight? No, we'll probably still be at the drawing board.
Yeah. Is there any ideas?
Well, this certainly seems like a site to me that's screaming out to create rooms.
Something that contrasts with that wild atmosphere, I think, would be really cool.
Something
too.
really structured?
Yeah.
Structured? No problem.
Hi.
Yes.
It's our specialty. And Lauren's right out of the gate.
On my travels to Brazil, there was this jungle walk that went through the forest. You can see the actual plants below growing up. I think that might be a nice idea for Margaret.
For sure.
We're off to the races.
Okay, this is the main entertainment area, which will be the dining deck. Following that will be a water feature that will start at the main area, follow all the way along this metal catwalk, and culminate in a pond here that they can view from the back area. This will be 24 inches above grade, which is the maximum allowable without having to put a railing.
Great. Question is, will Margaret sign off?
So you walk right over the top of the garden. That's a fantastic idea. I love that. I'm so excited about seeing that plan. It's exactly what I'd hoped for. Can't wait for it.
Margaret bought it. Now we have to deliver.
So we're gonna rip out the deck?
And like any design project, it's gotta get worse before it gets better.
Am I supposed to walk on this shit? Don't touch anything here. Don't touch it. Just leave it alone. All I really wanted to get here for is to tell don't touch these ones for sure.
To make sure Margaret's plants stay intact requires years and years of management skill.
Is it possible to actually store the bulbs?
Yeah.
But for some, it's a tougher sell than others.
Being a carpenter myself, I have no sympathy for planting crews. I really could care less. They're constantly in the way of the carpenters.
The difference between guys who build and people who take care of plant material is night and day. Leave this stuff. What about that tree thing? There's always casualties.
Oh man, casualties are one thing, but this could be a massacre.
I kill trees so I can build decks out of them.
I hate plants.
Looks like the war between the builders and the planters is officially on. Everyone's got to stick together.
Just replanting this so Jay doesn't kill it. It's preventative measures, I guess, against Jay.
Just in time, as a load of Brazilian Ipe arrives to build the deck. This thing's gonna last.
Cleaner grain, cleaner lumber, damn near as hard as steel. It's gonna be here long after I'm gone.
As the deck leaves dock, the plants we're saving are stuck.
The thing is that we're going to be running wheelbarrows through.
It means that we would either have to carry all the wheelbarrows up and over Josh's deck, which would piss Josh off, or we would have to magically elevate the soil.
Are we bringing the soil up in this square here? Is there any discussion about that?
I think we should a bit.
This place is a mess. Doesn't look like it'll be done anytime soon.
Jay, how long is Margaret's project gonna take?
Couple weeks it'll be done.
Yeah. There's no way that'll be done in 2 weeks. Who's holding?
Yeah. Why are you guys both? I'll hold.
Not a betting man.
2 weeks.
I just can't resist.
Have you checked the forecast?
Sunny.
No. Okay, money just went up on Kennedy.
Jay may have taken a sucker bet,
Pink slips. Anybody? Pink slips.
but this yard can't be anything less than spectacular with a modern, edgy mix of wood, stone, metal, and water.
It looks like a urinal.
It'll look like a urinal, much drains in the bottom.
Does it look like that?
I think it's gonna look really slick.
Clean and
Dumb. I do think so. You think dumb?
Dumb.
It's not gonna look like those little bathtubs you put Jesus in.
What? Of course not.
This is the problem. I didn't realize we were putting another fence up. On the weekend, Margaret decided that she wanted us to do the fence as well.
Yep. Margaret's decided to go all out and replace the entire fence. It'll add a few days to the project and get me closer to winning that bet.
Like, this is the easiest 20 bucks I'll ever make in my life. I've been doing it long enough. I understand how timelines happen. I'm gonna lose.
That's the spirit. The new deck is making it all the more difficult.
3.
That was unexpected.
Okay, the next shot's in the hole. Watch your balls.
As a new Ipe deck is built, Margaret and I are doing a little plant shopping.
What I'd love is if we can choose ones that will then flower through the whole summer.
Right.
Hoping for something really citrusy, sort of lemon, a little sharp.
Talk about someone in their own element. Hard to keep up.
Look how the leaves grow on the stem.
Want to get some of these?
Yes.
I'm gonna take the tags, some of the tags, and then we know exactly kind of which ones we have. And
You're gonna be in trouble.
grasses, I find, are gonna be the one thing that creates that height in the garden. You know what, this is kind of the feeling that I picture almost the whole backyard in, this spiky kind of feeling like this.
And if we gave it a spot, like a really central, like just right next to the water feature, so that you actually can appreciate it.
I don't think I've ever moved through this place so fast.
Stuff's spectacular.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah.
We're planting a lush forest of tall grasses to create a meadow feel, mixed in with blooms of white and purple and acid yellow.
Love that. That's beautiful with purple.
If only everything were going this well back at the job site.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
Fence looks great. Would look even better if the boards went the other way. Yeah. Horizontal. We screwed this up. Now what? This has gotta go. We gotta do it the way we said we were gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's such a huge waste of time.
Okay, we screwed up. As a team, we screwed up. Take it out. Redo it.
I don't know what hurts more. An extra week spent replacing this entire fence at our expense, or telling my business partners.
Margaret's house. How was that? Actually,
horrible.
Oh, why?
Whole fence. Yank it all out.
Oh, no.
I said to Josh, I know they're done the wrong way, but good workmanship.
It looks great.
It's perfect. Perfectly wrong.
And so the endless fence build continues. You'd think the second time would be the charm.
This post is on their property by a couple inches.
We've strayed past the property line, something you never, ever want to do.
It's gonna be so hard to shift this thing. We gotta shift them.
About the only thing going well is the main deck.
That's the clips to hold in the Ipe.
Yep.
Just so then you don't have to have any screws in the top of the deck.
Clean.
Right, so it's nice.
Well, it would be if you could see through the unending traffic jam of footprints.
The deck is just so dirty from trying to do this, and it's like they haven't even used it yet. Put something on this so nobody walks on it.
Yep, nerves on edge, and I don't think I'm the only one feeling it.
It's a lot of disarray. It's going on a long time, and it's messy and noisy. Still don't have a timeline of when it's going to be done.
Two
Let's
boards?
try one, yeah.
This yard's more engrossing than a TV movie.
Nice, very nice.
Way more modern.
Doesn't hurt that Josh is on site. Great personality, works hard, and is convincing in his own way.
I don't
Are
know.
you trying to say something?
No, not at all.
Well, what do you know? The horizontal fence is up, and the rear deck is finally going down.
Fence looks wicked, man.
You like it?
Loving it. Wow, it feels so private in here now.
I know. Privacy is huge now. It makes such a difference.
The piers for the metal walkway are in, which means we are waiting on only one thing. The walkway itself.
Now all we need to do is get it in.
Yep.
Will this yard ever be done?
How much more patience do you think they can have?
At least the other project elements are arriving on time.
Where's the sandblasted glass?
What?
Sandblasted glass?
That's what's missing, right?
That's what's missing.
Oh my God.
No, I guess the last thing is find out what our missing glass is, get the water feature and the bridge in, and then the plants.
All I need is for our designer to arrive. Way too early. Hope she brought her imagination.
So let me get this straight. You want me to tell you what I want to furnish when it's not even half done? Is that it?
Yeah. So on one side of it is a water feature that's kind of running along with it.
Oh, that'll be sexy.
Yeah. Margaret did a reno on this place.
Okay.
You can see.
Inside?
Yeah.
Inside
It's
it.
like really, really nice.
Yeah. So what you're trying to mimic that out here?
Yeah.
You mentioned that this is going to be metal. It'd be nice to bring in some metal into the furnishings if we can find.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're doing
Any
construction, so
any idea for time frame for my purposes? Next year.
She might be right. But while Lisa looks for furniture for this space, I contemplate a new career. A huge investment of hope in our metal walkway finally starts to take shape.
Finally metal, guys. Awesome.
And sandblasted glass doors are good to go up.
This looks sweet.
Yeah.
The final piece of Margaret's puzzle, the metal catwalk, has arrived.
Oh, that's not too heavy.
It's obscene.
Sweet, man. This is beautiful. Love this. Wow, you're really going to see the plants underneath, Abe. It's important.
I feel almost optimistic.
Look at this plant. Agastache. Bees love this plant.
Hi, Mr. B.
Goes down there, James.
The plants are being placed, and we're almost done.
So is this the last thing to go in?
No, it's not. The water feature still got to go in.
Water feature?
Now what do we do?
Oh, yeah.
If you can't get here, then I guess we're going elsewhere. So I guess our business is done.
If we're late, and I'm winning the bet,
Yeah. Yep.
why then do I feel like such a loser?
I don't know what to do with that. Water feature? You know what's happening?
Yeah, I got my chain yanked.
Jay fired the steel guys. We're screwed. 6 months of dealing with these guys, and now they're gone. It's like, I hope there's somebody in the wings that he knows about that's going to do this. But now what do we do?
Nuts?
We must be. But that hasn't stopped us from finding someone new.
Good morning.
Now, if he can only use his magic to get it done lickety-split.
I need it yesterday, Luke. I know everybody says this, right?
The rock bed water feature has to work with age-old stone. It has to look like it's always been there.
I don't want to use stainless just because I think it's a little too cold.
So we just want to go with the steel that'll rust so it actually goes the rust color.
At the 11th hour, the rock bed and the rest of the water feature is installed. I hope all of this time in Margaret's yard has been worth it.
Wow.
I love this.
So do I.
Whoa.
Born in
You
a barn.
aced it, man. This is beautiful.
People, I think, sometimes look at the city like, what kind of space do you have in the city as far as land goes, you know? That's what you can have living in the city.
Well, the difference between the old yard and this one, I mean, it's just fantastic. I love it.
It's like, this is amazing. This is really beautiful.
This is incredible.
I love it.
This place, to me, is spectacular. The construction challenges were just never ending with this job. But I think it has to do with how many different components you're trying to do, and you're trying to do something different. This has got to go. We got to do it the way we said we were going to do it. Put something on this so nobody walks on it. There's nothing that drives me more mental than that. Where's the sandblasted glass?
That's what's missing.
It could have been probably brutal. It could have went down a road that was like, this isn't good enough. You know, but that didn't happen.
Well, I'm really happy that we had a client that had the vision to let us do what we wanted here, something a little bit more modern.
It's just the angles. Right off the bat, this first bed and the angles are so defined, and then it's mimicked by the other side. It's beautiful.
I didn't know really what I wanted. I guess I wanted to be surprised, and having someone with a completely fresh approach take on the space and see it completely differently, that's absolutely happened. I am delighted and surprised.
You just don't expect when you propose a 50-foot-long boardwalk in metal that the people are going to go, great, let's do it.
Let's go down the catwalk. Show me what's in fashion, Lauren, this year.
So this is the modern river.
I love it. I love just these, like, that's perfect.
Yeah, people will
It's like a nice mountain stream for your ice-cold beverage.
Just exaggerated the shape. We exaggerated the length, made it seem long, and showed it off. We did the depth of the water high enough just to go over the little pebbles.
Yep.
But not too high to cover these.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that it's elevated off the ground so that you walk over the top of the garden, which I just think is so innovative.
Woo, woo, love it. Actually, I think I'm just
James,
a little trick I learned.
Oh, stop it.
It's like the edge of the dock, right? You're sitting.
Yeah, once I feel like doing this.
This is awesome.
One of the things we asked Kennedy to keep when he did this was the vine that we have on the back of our house.
So you want to save that?
Yes, because it runs all the way down the house, and it's good. He solved it perfectly. These brackets made of stainless steel that just scoop under the vine and hold it there in place.
Don't be limited by the space you think you have, because that space, because of its shape, just creates and breeds way more interesting space that you could actually create. Don't compromise what you want. You can do it. It's just got to be laid out properly. Yeah, it's long and it's narrow. But your eye won't go to the narrowness. It will focus on all the elements that are in the garden. You go touch the water feature, you'll go want to walk down the boardwalk, you'll go to the back deck, you'll turn around, you'll be looking at it going, wow, this is amazing.
I think now the garden just feels more grown up. It's unapologetically urban, and I really like that.
Love it. It's excellent.
It comes out like this.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding, man. It's a great feeling.
No, I love it. I think it's awesome. I'm really impressed.
Beautiful, boys.
It
Nice
has a
work
very,
again.
very nice
Exactly.
modern style to it.
Excellent. Let's go sashaying. Yeah, there's no sachet.
Okay.
Can't do it.
You want sachet?
Uh-oh. Here comes the king of sachet.
Here's sachet.
That is the sachet.
Woo!
This man is traveling to another dimension.
Okay, I think I should take my safety shield off there.
A dimension of sound.
Jay, get another pilot. We'll communicate this way, okay? It's Friday. I can't hear you anymore.
A dimension of sight.
James, have you seen this from up here?
Yeah, it's very cool.
A dimension of landscaping.
To see it finished looks absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
Wow.
By the woods, by the yard.
My name is James. I'm a landscape designer.
This would be cool on someone's patio.
My partners and I come to trade shows like this one to learn about the latest design trends in building materials, to make sure that we're always at the top of our game.
Hey, James!
And we need to be, because I've got a brand new client and she's got a flair for modernism, the absolute latest. This is Brinley's house.
We bought this house about 18 months ago, and it's a very modern house.
The client has this great big modern, well, postmodern, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it's a great big cube. It's in the ground, it's made of concrete, it's got a few big windows.
Just almost finished the renovation of the inside of the house, and so it was time to have a look at the garden and make that garden as nice as the house.
The client's backyard, I've actually never seen anything like it attached to a house that is pretty well thought out architecturally, a beautiful modern piece. You get to the backyard, it looks like I don't know, some dog's breakfast, some amoeba-shaped deck that's somebody's idea of a garden design. I have no clue how they got to that point. There's actually a couple of dead trees in there, and so that's going to be a bit of a nightmare.
I was attracted to James's work because it was a much more modern design aesthetic.
The back is very, very long. We're just going to be dealing with the front half right off the back of the house. So it'll be interesting to find out how it's going to connect in with that natural backdrop furthest part of the yard.
James, when you're off the phone, we'll talk about the drawing.
Is it for 2 o'clock?
Because I'm just going to talk to myself.
I had it down.
Because I've been sitting here for an hour,
About 2:30.
trying to talk to you. And I can't read your notes. Deck out. People.
Buddy, that's training in landscape architecture training.
This looks like
That's
my
where I
doctor's
learned.
prescription.
Didn't you learn how to write like this in landscape architecture school?
Cialis.
Lauren's got to come up with a design that will take this dog's breakfast to best in show.
Super. What does that say? Could you please decipher
It
your
says, this better be the best drawing you've ever done.
So they like to entertain, they like to
entertain, they want a main area. She basically wants a refuge from the storm.
So we can do something really interesting.
Yeah, I think so. We've got a concrete deck here. We're gonna keep it. There's existing railing here. Let's cut it off. Let's do something more modern. The stairs that lead down to the basement are rotten. They have old timbers, interlock. We're gonna pull them out.
All right.
We can use some man-made pavers that are
That's
modern.
unusual. We haven't used that for a while, but there's some nice products now that have that lend themselves to a contemporary effect. In fact, I don't think this house, if we put natural flagstone, it might look too formal or traditional for that.
It might look too much. And you know what I told her? There's no need. There's no reason to drive up budget just to use stone. You can use man-made pavers. It'll tie in with her. She's got a concrete facade on that house. It'll tie in perfectly.
Now it's up to Lauren to draw this thing.
What we're proposing is a more rectangular patio that's going to accommodate a dining area and a lounge area. This is going to be an arbor, and the intent is they're going to be able to place their dining room table under here. What I'm doing now, these little bars I'm drawing now, are proposed screens that we're going to tie into the house. The two screens that are at the either end of the arbor, they're going to be a bright orange, while the others will be a clear, opaque white.
That's right, orange.
The inspiration for this garden was actually this watch here. When we met with her, she said, "I love your watch."
We had both talked about our love of the color orange because I had commented on loving his watch. So he actually incorporated the color orange into the design.
Brinley loves our design.
I can't wait to see it done.
So it's time to get started.
So here it is, Jay.
Jay is my contractor, and he'll be making this design jump right off the page.
Plant material, the existing cedar hedge here. Don't worry about that, that's gone. Junipers, that's gone. The euonymus standard here, although it's quite a beauty, we're gonna get rid of that too. This ancient euonymus sarcoxy, all of them, we're gonna keep them intact because they're gonna add a lot of sort of greenery to the side.
These plants will provide some definition behind our translucent screens.
You can see this old stump here. Just grind it down. I think it's probably rotten right through.
And the good news is, 2 weeks ago, Brinley's neighbor's tree helped us with the demolition.
This tree decides to fall on top of the deck. The furniture's done, the deck's done, and as you can see, this Acer Negundo is done, or Manitoba maple.
At first I thought it was a total disaster. The end result is I'm thrilled because I get to buy a whole new patio set that goes with the style of the garden.
It's an omen from Mother Nature, and I think that means we're on the right track.
I'm totally thrilled to see the garden being demoed.
Well, sort of thrilled. Turns out Brindley was thinking of replanting this euonymus somewhere else.
I'll get you new euonymus, no problem. Sorry about that. We got Zorro here. No, I know, it's my mistake, man.
We're taking out the deck and the wooden stairs. We're also replacing the old stairs to the basement with concrete slabs. And how are we putting this yard back together again once everything's cleaned out?
I just want to go over this planning plan before we finalize it.
It's important that we have the layering effect to give some height on the edges here.
I was thinking maybe hornbeam or something along there. Create a dense screen wall behind these screens. What you have proposed for in front of the hornbeam hedges here?
I thought we'd have a nice combination of Carex and Astilbe.
The Chinese Astilbe, which is the lower one?
Right, the Pumala.
Yeah, the Pumala, okay, good one.
And the great thing about Carex and Astilbe is they'll tolerate shade.
So the plants we've got under control. Just where are we going to find orange screens?
Look at all the colors, man. I can't believe it.
I've got just the place, and I've got just the inspiration to go by.
I'm looking right here right now, and I'm seeing number 303 here, and it kind of looks really...
it's like a pumpkin orange.
Yeah, pumpkin orange.
Yeah, it's a great orange.
Yeah, so that just pops. See, we have this really modern arbor, very minimalist patio, and these two screens will flank a seating area, and it'll just give a great big punch of color to the garden. Is there anything they should know when they're using acrylics outside? Say cleaning, anything like that?
Yeah, clean. Best way to clean it is you don't use any household products.
Right.
Soap and water is the best way.
So we're going in the back?
Yeah, I'll show you in the back.
So I should probably put my carbonate acrylic shield on?
There you go. Perfect. You're not gonna wear that, are you? This is where we cut it the size, cut it the shape. This is where
That's
it goes
incredible.
On. Just like the poles are doing here. This has all been done on our CNC.
That's wild, man.
That's a great thing with plastic. You can do anything. Bend it, cut it, shape it. You can do whatever you want with it.
Excellent.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, there she is.
So basically, you just get us what size you want us to cut it to, and we'll get it going for you.
Beautiful, man. Look at that. And that's the exact, look at that color.
Yeah,
right
beautiful
the same
color.
as the watch.
Perfect.
Beautiful, man.
We've got our screens. And back at the site, the basement stairs are in, and the stump's coming out. And once the stump is gone, we can regrade the yard and start in on the patio.
The other issue is one that's pressing are the stairs. The stairs I haven't ordered yet, and one thing Brindley wants me to do immediately so it doesn't go beyond the end of the job are the stairs. We have to order them, and she would like wood instead of steel now, so I've got to figure out a design, which I've been putting off and putting off and putting off. I've got to get back and get these stairs ordered. Well, we need a modern design for a set of stairs, like a nice open area staircase, wooden, not metal, because she doesn't want metal anymore.
Brindley's stairs are going to have stainless stringers supported by Brazilian Ipe treads. It's modern and works perfectly with her house. As for the plants, they've been delivered and Brindley likes a lot.
So this is the variegated Carex that we're planting on both sides of in front of the arbor, and this is the Astilbe ardense, which is a really beautiful flower will come out of here, pink and white. There's two different colors here. These are French hybrid lilacs, so a beautiful mauve color that'll come out. This is Sure Spot euonymus under here. It's got a really interesting variegated foliage here with this really creamy center. We've got a combination in here of daylily mixed with a geranium. They will naturally cascade over the edge to soften it up and create the foliage contrast with this nice spiky leaf.
The transformation of the garden is just incredible. I'm not sure if it's so much the planting as it is these vertical structures going in, but you can just begin to get a sense of how incredibly beautiful it's going to be. Now, how tall will these be, James? Is this the finished height?
No, this looks a little strange right now. It's high, 8 feet to finished height. So these will all be lopped off with we'll have a laser level, and we'll just lop them all perfectly off and put their crossbeam in after the screens have gone in. Dynamite, guys. Holy crow. Look at the watch here, by the way. Exactly the same color.
Pretty damn close.
What about the chairs in the dining room? Chairs in the dining room?
The orange
Are
chair.
they orange too?
Yeah.
We meant to do that.
Yeah.
See, the indoors ties with the outdoors.
Yeah.
I'm really blown away with it because of it's just an icy blue, and it even ties in with the patio. And the orange is a complementary color. I love it.
Orange and bluish gray
Yeah,
together.
it's so beautiful. So I'm really excited.
Until a phone call the very next day.
Brinley, how are you?
Brinley just loves the orange screens, but they have her husband seeing red.
Give it a week, you'll get used to it.
No, he wants it changed.
That's the whole highlight of the whole.
Yeah.
It was based on that orange
Orange is
color.
a pretty strong color for
It's
people.
really strong.
Wow. I think they look awesome. Would you be willing to go with a more subdued color?
Oh, I still want orange.
Oh, you still want orange?
Oh, we still want orange. Oh, yeah, guys. Don't get me wrong. We just want a different tone.
You sure about changing this, man? This looks amazing. What is it? The blue and the orange is the complementary colors?
They are. They are, and they're gorgeous together.
So we love it. Let's change it.
You win some, you lose some. But my bets are paying off with the stainless guy who has come to build our stairs. And we have a simple solution for the screens.
Sometimes, you know, you get a color sheet up there and all of a sudden it's way too bright or way too intense.
If you put the frosted in front of it, you'll tone it down. You could put a white backing on it, so if you want to cut the light transmission through it, this will become even more opaque.
We sent Brinley and her husband to pick out something to make the screens less out there.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in front of the orange to tone down that brilliant sort of the color of my watch effect.
Okay, so we go from light to dark.
It's red now. I like it a lot. The color of the screen went from that orange, the color of the watch and this glass sort of thing, to the color of the fire.
Red?
Yeah. I like it a lot, actually.
So it went from
You know a blood
tangerine?
orange? Yeah. You went from mandarin to a blood orange.
Our stair guy, Mike, is on Brinley's case.
Hey, James, how are you?
Good. Because that concrete pad is like sunken right in the middle, I was just concerned about the elevations of each tying in.
So you don't want it to slope around the deck?
No, I was just wondering, man.
Yeah, here, actually, I'll show you what I did.
Yeah.
I went with my laser, and then I did measurements at all the posts.
So you've got a contour elevation map up there, top concrete.
See every post,
deck.
eh? Minus 5/16, plus 5/8.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it'll be a little higher than 42 in certain sections, but
totally fine. Yeah, as long as it's a nice straight top rail. Looks smooth. It's gonna be really stealth. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, she'll like it.
Oh, she'll love it. She'll love it.
Now, if we can just get the railings installed within the next week, we'll be golden.
The railings will be installed this week. He's
Oh,
good.
very
He's
bad.
really good. Anyway, he's got a cute dog too.
He has a cute dog?
Yeah, he's got a cute little dog. About this big.
The problem right now is we made this section here a little shorter, so I have to take that one back to the shop because I had the dimension wrong.
Railing going in.
Just the railing and the staircase, right?
Yep.
Finally, out with the temporary stairs and in with the stainless steel. As Jay installs the Ipe wood under these stealth stairs, we're still on the waiting list for the glass inserts for the railings.
What's up?
These inserts have to go in. For Brinley, it's becoming an insurance issue.
Brinley's waited enough. She's patient enough. I want it done by Friday. In the meantime, we're gonna put wood up to appease the insurance company.
But I tell you, when that glass finally arrives, this yard is gonna look spectacular. We'll just have to wait a few months to see it. Although Brinley's already bought her dream backyard furniture, our stylist Lisa is gonna help us push her yard past the finish line.
The entrance is
It's a little
perfectly in
tricky.
tune to keep people.
Oh, James, I love these panels.
I love them too. You've got a little bit of a sort of a heavy over here on the heavy lines, the straight lines, and then in the back it's more natural. It's a natural setting. So
I think we could maybe soften it a little bit.
You have these two great areas. I want to create some kind of flow between them, some kind of unity. And in terms of furnishings, I think a good idea to break away from that and soften things up a little bit. Otherwise, it looks all too similar.
Yeah, it's gonna be dynamite.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I hope Brinley likes it.
This is the exact color, I think. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm actually thinking maybe this will soften up the space on the concrete floor on the deck.
Wow.
This is
a cavern. I still haven't pruned those things.
I love it.
Whoa. It's such an extension of the house. They walk down to this concrete deck, which, we didn't veneer in the end. We didn't put stonework on it. We've kept it the way it is. Added these Ipe stairs, inviting you down to the lower patio. So we regained this entire space, creating this incredible flow through from the house to the garden.
James did what he promised me he would, and that is, he said, I'm going to make your garden every bit as beautiful as the interior of the house.
Mike did a fantastic job here.
It's very simple, but
Mike did a fantastic job.
I sort of was like, where's Mike? Come on, get to the job site. But in be all and end all, at the end of this whole deal, it's stunning, and I'm really happy for
I guess
Bryn. That
patience is a virtue.
Absolutely.
In the end.
Yeah.
I've especially enjoyed the panels because they're incredibly beautiful in all seasons.
See how the leaves are pushing against the glass?
Look at that.
It looks like a painting, doesn't it?
It looks like a painting.
When you see the light coming through it and the tree behind, I really love that because that to me makes it a garden that I can enjoy at 3 in the morning, in January, in June, whenever.
The panels you could easily unclip, and you can put a blue one in tomorrow if you want. You could actually have a collection of 3 or 4 panels, depending on your mood or depending on the season, and change them up.
Even though the orange became rust, I'm still happy with it.
I like it.
I love it too.
The way it ties in with the pillows and everything.
That's very cool.
A lot of the plants are chosen sheerly out of the fact that they're low maintenance. They're not gardeners. They want something low maintenance. They go away on the weekends. The carex grass and the astilbe flanking the bottoms of the arbor, and what they'll do is they'll blend together and create a really beautiful texture change. We're not having a little collection of everything here. We're just having different foliages that will just sort of play off one another.
Because the patio's so big, it seems like the arbor kind of still breaks it up a little bit.
Well, it shows that you really have to beef up an arbor for this scale by making it 6x6s rather than 4x4.
I agree. Remember what was here, Lauren? Like this amoeba deck that's
rotten, sort of.
Yeah.
It's like a grand panel-shaped deck. It was all rotten.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the before pictures of our garden, it's hard to compare that to the incredibly gorgeous garden we have now. Definitely, this is more our style.
The whole intent of this was to have a lounge and dining area adjoining each other, so it became an outdoor living space with these walls, making it feel cozy.
I can't even imagine actually having a party in a space like this. I can imagine it, but I can't imagine.
I know. Can't we have a crantini or something
so
now?
Awesome.
It's like that open concept kitchen. And you'll always be at a party and no one will leave the kitchen. Well, that's the sort of the feeling I think this big patio is going to create.
My relationship with the garden has really changed since it's been renovated. Now it's just an unremitting pleasure to look at it and to be in the garden. The kids love being out here and playing, and we're eating outside a lot more. It's become a much better relationship.
I've never worked with a client who has such positive energy. I just felt so awesome when this job was done, for a place for her to just hang out and relax, and that was the ultimate sort of goal. All my jobs, I want them to be this way.
What do they want for the garden?
I don't care about that. You figure that out. I just sell the stuff.
Why are you looking over there? I'm here.
Cut.
Okay, so Bryn wants, they've got a basement entrance.
Brynley? Oh, so you call her Bryn?
Yeah.
You met her how many times?
Oh, yeah. Once.
Cut.
So they want the kids to be able to run around here, or is this more for the adults?
She basically wants a refuge. She wants.
Why are you looking over there? I'm here. You're talking to me about the garden, right?
I'm gonna walk out of here.
Okay.
Cut.
Take a monolithic mansion that's crying out for some pedigree.
Is that roof slate?
and you have a landscaping tale of epic proportions.
This isn't a garden, this is a square block.
There's lots of mud and big trees moved, with plot twists galore.
Sucks.
Watch as this untouched palace transforms into the ultimate dreamscape.
Wow, I love it. Woo, what a change.
My name is Kennedy. I'm a landscape designer, and this is the house that Joanne and Michael built. A beautiful blank canvas palace in the burbs. It's crying out to belong. The only thing missing is a moat.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hey. How you doing?
Good.
Michael.
Hi, Kennedy. Joanne, nice to meet you.
Our main focus in dealing with our front yard was to create an environment that was different from the typical.
Because we're not very typical people. Actually, one, totally different. That's why we called.
It's amazing. You're driving through the neighborhood and they're more traditional. Your house is the only one that's not so traditional.
Right.
Your job is to take it from this very formal look to very simple. We want to relax the entire property, make it fun. Really, I want to drive up and say, wow, I love coming here.
Our real job is to make this house look like it didn't just arrive yesterday. It's been here for 3 whole years.
In the design, I'd rather not have, like curving driveways. I'd also like the planting to be incredibly different.
Is this the only space we're dealing with? Is there anything else?
No, there's a cutout sort of at the side of the house. What we'd like to do here is make it so that it's like a little forest.
You know what, though? It will feel like that. It will feel like that.
We're definitely looking forward to the drawing.
Sorry, how's it going?
I don't know if you can tell, but this is a huge job. It's going to take all of our brain power to come up with a plan.
So, Kennedy, this isn't a garden, this is a square block.
This is all gravel.
Jesus, it's huge.
This is such a massive driveway. Potentially, would this client be open to pea gravel?
As far as the style goes, it would work.
Yeah.
Whether they would like it.
Yeah. Do they want to keep parking for 16, or does that they want to
16, 60?
It's going to be interesting how to deal with this.
Step 1. Just what did we sign ourselves up for?
For some reason, I'm not afraid of that dog. Talk about needing curb appeal. I mean, this is really crying out for it. It would be nice to make this a real garden again rather than the whole thing is a big driveway now and it's really quite hideous.
We're nothing if not honest. But warming this place up will take much more than that.
So, we really have to address the appearance of the front of this house. It's a beautiful big house, and we have to soften it somehow. And it's all driveway and paving, and everything's related to the automobile.
Joanne and Michael's Texas-sized front yard needs a serious rethink.
Who wants the driveway to go into your front door?
And who wants to just look at automobiles?
They can push this driveway out of sight, basically.
I think that's what we should try to do.
Yeah.
Lauren's sharpening his pencils, among other things.
What I'm drawing up here is the design for the front entry to Joanne and Michael's house. We're trying to give them a really beautiful entry court into the front of their house, so when they do exit, there's a beautiful formal garden. The plans we're proposing are going to make it feel more loose and very colorful.
No matter how good it looks on paper, will it meet our client's huge wish list?
Hello, hello. How you doing?
Good to see you again.
How are you? So, here we go.
Wow.
So you'll notice there's no circles.
Fabulous. So these trees are totally going to block out what's across the street?
Yeah. So what we've done is we took the driveway out completely.
Mm-hmm.
This whole open area here is going to be lawn. And then this area over here is going to be parking spots. And then the courtyard, we're just trying to do it like a kind of a foresty kind of setting to it. Again, I know you guys don't use this yet.
I'm not sure we'll ever use it.
I have this feeling you'll use it. I don't know why.
Now that Joanne and Michael are interested,
It's just...
how will they react to a dramatically narrower driveway in pea gravel?
Love that.
Yes, the cheapest material.
I like to eat it more now.
So we'll get started tomorrow.
Okay, great.
No. Let's do it. I think Kennedy is absolutely wonderful. He did exactly what we asked for.
I really feel that I'm going to get what I pay for with him. He seems really honest, and that's really important to me.
Let's hope that's not speaking too soon. To deliver this massive project, we're rallying the troops and plunging in head first.
These are falling off the roof. We need the hard hats today.
Our contractor, Ron, is leading the charge.
Today's my lucky day.
We're very excited. Can't wait to come back and see it.
No pressure.
Yeah, we're great at making a big mess on the first day.
First up, moving these unsightly trees the clients want to keep.
I gotta put them in somewhere. I might as well just move them into where I'm gonna put them.
Frankly, it wouldn't bother me if they went AWOL. These existing trees don't work. I don't want to use them.
This looks like kind of a lunar landing site, so this is going to be a big challenge.
We're going to need military precision to pull this project off.
Do you have a pen?
Here, use a stone.
But no matter how much you plan, things always change on site.
The interesting thing about this is we're kind of working in reverse from what Lorne does. Where Lorne goes and shoots the grades and we work with it, now we're going to say this is what we want the grade to be.
Much as we try, landscaping's just not an exact science.
Right, up a little bit more. Right there.
As we do some slight recalibrations, a nagging issue can no longer be ignored. What to do with the huge, expensive trees the client had installed before we even got here? They just don't cut it with our plan.
I got a mismatch of like 4 of one, 5 of another, and 1 of another one. This house isn't designed with like just this whole bunch of randomness.
On second thought, maybe we can use them in the side courtyard.
I can pick the bottom up slightly. That's gonna look good.
If we plan it correctly, they might just screen the view of the neighbor's house. Problem solved.
I don't know. I just know what looks nice. I think that kind of looks funny like that.
Guess we spoke too soon.
I have a question. Is this planted already?
What's in the ground?
Because if that can be swapped,
With what?
this one's so much taller than that one.
Okay, much easier to move trees that are already out of the ground.
That's good right there. Stop.
Husband says leave them, the wife says change them, we change them.
Let's go before you create more trouble.
Now that that's under control, I get to have fun choosing stone to complement the house.
Love this stuff. We're looking for a wind sound buff flagstone because Michael and Joanne's house is the Indiana, and the face of it is really rough, but the sills and the pillars are smooth Indiana. So we're looking for a complementary stone that kind of goes with that. Stuff's stunning. It's here somewhere. Gotta find it somewhere in here.
Hey, Kennedy,
How you doing, man?
Nice to see you again.
But no, I love this. This is perfect. This will go great with Indiana. I mean, this is very close to the Indiana color. This she'll freak out for it.
Here's hoping the clients like what I've chosen. Meantime, the courtyard is starting to fill up with more and more trees. What does Joanne think of that?
This is exactly what I wanted. From this perspective, it is unbelievable.
Phew.
This is going to become a contemplative garden.
It's like standing in a hotel balcony
what I'm saying. It feels
somewhere
like
in Europe, you know?
It was like this void they never used. So now that the window coverings are off, they have trees out there, they realize they can use it, and it's going to become part of their house.
Even Lauren and I were like, this whole house just changed. Interior just totally changed.
Yeah, that's
we're
true. It's like a
this is
different house.
amazing.
Yep, we hit a home run. Until Joanne saw the stone I was so excited about installed.
I'm very disappointed, and I want it all ripped out.
How's it going at Joanne and Michael's?
Horrible.
No.
Yes. Freaking interlock sucked.
Oh.
She hated it. Here's the sample we brought. She picked. Yeah, I like this one. This one's good. This is what showed up, basically.
Why was it so different?
Because there's a blend in interlock.
Okay.
They blend the colors.
Right.
And you don't get an exact color.
Bit of a setback, and time is money. While the stone's replaced, and to keep the project rolling, we're on to the planting plan.
This is... Oh my God. Joanne and Michael's front garden. Daunting? Yes.
This is one of those ones, it's going to be a little while before this fills in properly.
That's right. We're going to have to put way more varieties. The front garden particularly is going to be very heavy on perennials. And we have to think of seasonal interest and then sun and shade. There's going to be some key plants in here that exemplify the English garden, like peonies.
This garden is a bit of variety with the plants, a bit of variety with the shapes of flowers. Some are spikes, some are round balls, some are like a frizz.
So what's that up to? That's
a lot.
I better start
getting this order together.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Let's see, one fern.
While Lauren contemplates quitting, we're doing right by the interlock and installing the exact shade the client ordered.
This interlock looks great. Always looks better the second time. Oh man, we had practice on the first one.
Good thing we got it together, because with any client, you've got to balance cost, deadline, and your word.
It was just handled incredibly professionally, which is very important. Everyone got together and they took it out and changed it right away. We were very, very pleased.
But before collecting any medals, we've got another issue to stare down. Paltry pin oaks.
I'm not putting those pin oaks in. They're freaking gross. Great looking tree, horrible looking tree. This one's going back. I'm not putting this in their house.
Next up, we're making the front doors become the grand entrance.
That goes perfectly with the house. This is what we mean by facing the stone, making it a coping stone. This is how it comes. This has a face on it. Like these guys have put this face back on. Facing it means making the stone look like stone again. Yeah, that's gonna look perfect.
We're trying to get back on schedule after the interlock mishap.
You guys are pouring this tomorrow. Yeah. Saturday.
Yep, duty calls.
My question is, are there too many trees?
Trees are the least of our worries right now.
We hit a conduit.
How do I turn it off?
Is this spraying water all over, guys?
Yeah.
If it keeps going, I'm not gonna be able to work anymore today.
Today's no different.
I am not going in this place today. Look at this. Oh.
Overall, Joanne and Michael have been really cool. But when it comes to plants, it takes a little while to get everything set up just right. Helps if you like what's going in.
I guess how we're feeling about these trees,
Wimpy trees.
they feel a little meek or weak or wimpy.
You know, they're right. These trees I ordered are wimpy. And we can't have that.
This should be on top of that tree like that. Great looking tree, horrible looking tree. This one's going back. I'm not putting this in their house.
Now on to the rest of the planting. Joanne wants it wild and casual, which is more of an art than you'd think.
There's so many varieties of plant material.
And she wants it really loose and varied, so if we're all there helping out, then it'll come out sort of mismatched, which is what she wants. So that'd be great.
That job is going to be an amazing transition because it was driveway. Now it's a beautiful lawn.
Just look at all these plants. Remember there was nothing here just a few weeks ago? Same can be said for the courtyard. The trees were just the first step. Now, to make a brand new courtyard look natural.
I'm telling you, she might think this is too organized.
That's too organized?
Yeah.
How can they be more unorganized than that? It's not for everybody.
No.
But this is what Joanne and Michael wanted, and I really loved it.
Yeah, this is amazing. This certainly settles the house down.
Back out front, we're still going at it, giving the front entrance the prominence it needs. All hands on deck.
Are they finished yet? Nice selection, I have to say.
Here's this one, which is the Millennia Sky Racer. The strategy is to try to figure out the placement of the perennials, and then the shrubs, and then the grasses.
I love this job.
So, Coxie,
up around the house. Remember she wanted the weeping vines coming over the roof of the front?
I put that Virginia Creeper in the corner.
Perfect. This is gonna be full when we're done, man.
We're trying to make it look, this Purple Weigela and Gold Mound Spirea, I mean, they look amazing together.
Here's the two trees. This is where the two oaks have got to go in, these two beds. That's why they're kind of left empty. These trees are gonna be very important.
Does this not look like an English country estate?
Yes. With the gravel driveway, hello, perfect.
Kennedy, we're almost finished. Yeah.
Oh. You'd think we're nearing the finish line on this project, but we're still searching for a way to soften the entrance even more.
It needs the two pin oaks to hide the corner of the house.
The house it looks like it's really anchored. It's been brought down. It looks cozy. Before
Looked like this big haunted house in the hill.
Thank God these guys called us. So, those pin oaks, they aren't going to get here themselves. Yet another trip to the nursery. This time at the last possible second. Joanna Michael's place, there's 2 trees in the middle of the driveway.
Yep.
And I need pin oaks.
Pin oaks. Native. Beautiful tree.
Yeah. This is exactly what I want. We had 2 that I had sent back. The trees weren't big enough because it's in the driveway. You needed the head clearance.
No, this is the one.
Perfect.
I love it. It's going to do well. See you in the earth.
With everything finally falling into place, our designer Lisa is going to help us give this project its last hurrah. So this is Joanna Michael's house.
Joanna Michael.
Originally, this is where the driveway was. It went right up to the front of the door.
Okay, so this is a big improvement.
Yeah, we basically gave them the front yard back.
So
but she really wants like really different stuff.
Different.
Something kind of bold. I don't know what it would be. I think as clear as I am being with you is how clear she kind of is with me. I'm not much help at all. While Lisa's giving it all her best guess, I'm still dealing with issues that are setting us offside. This is 1/4 inch pea gravel? I don't think so. The wrong pea gravel got delivered. Thanks for not putting that crap in. It set us back, but now we're on course. Perfect. Finally. Took forever to find this though. But even still, I made an error in judgment. We got a torrential downpour, now we realize we can't do this. We got to end this off at the top of the hill here. This is a perfect example of what happens with gravel. Any gravel on a slope. Thank God it happened now, because then we don't have to come back and do it again. It's looking good, man. We're almost done. A couple details to fix up and we're finished. All that's left is for Lisa to pick out a few last-minute accessories.
See, this is perfect. This has not only the color, but it sparkles. Oh, this is great color. Having this on the yard will bring your eye away from the doors.
It's been a long journey, but the end results are spectacular. This house looks like it's been here for years, just as we planned. Love this place, and it's absolutely, the front yard's completely transformed into a garden. It's softened, I think, this house that was, kind of a little harsh.
The front yard is beautiful. It's calmed down the facade of the house and made it part of the landscape as opposed to the house and the yard.
Wow, I love it. Woo, what a change.
This is it. To think the driveway actually came up through the middle of this lawn and swooped around and went down there.
Unbelievable difference.
This is all driveway.
That's really the biggest change, isn't it? It went from this huge gravel pit to almost a feeling of being intimate and cozy now.
Yeah.
So that was really a challenge.
In this area, being a newer area, there's not a ton of trees. So we've taken a new area and made it look old.
The formality is in the actual paving materials, and it complements the house.
I think because we went with the pea gravel here, that tones down the hardscape, so it's not overwhelming as well.
There's one issue with the trees. Every time I'm talking to Joanna, I hear Michael in the background. Skeleton trees!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know, but we know they're gonna look amazing.
Front door was sort of a secondary entrance. Now we want to make it the primary.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
And the courtyard that we're sitting in now, because it's so visible from 3 separate spaces inside the house, it's just stunning to look outside and see all the greenery, and it looks like it's been here forever.
It's like a very forest feeling to it. Although we wanted to create that cozy feeling, keep your eye in confine, we didn't want to block out all the sunlight.
Oh, thank you. Whoa. Excellent.
Oh, I love it. Oh, man.
Wow.
This is stunning in here. It's very peaceful.
I love it.
It's just a beautiful feeling, coming to something finished and unique and inviting.
Hey. Yes. I think I'm getting it. I think I got it.
I think the
for sale. I think a for sale sign just went up to the neighbor.
Oh my God.
Gotta go.
Now the trio will be going traveling to the next destination.
Excellent. Keep your day job.
Next destination.
Last time in Cedar City,
This is where I usually hold back a bit.
things took an unexpected turn
The holes will be dug.
and went desperately wrong.
Deadly.
A front yard almost pushed us across the line. But we narrowly escaped disaster with a beautiful landscape design.
That came together all right. I'm Joel, a landscape designer and budding rock star.
That's good.
Thank you, some of my best work. Here's my partner Kennedy, who knows what a guitar is.
Yeah, excellent.
And my other, slightly confused partner, James.
Hi, James here.
These are my clients, Desmond and Janet. And we're tackling their front and backyards.
Our immediate family is myself and Desmond, and we have 3 boys. We've been, trying to do a little bit of planting and keep it looking okay until the last couple of years we've really said, man, we're not winning here. We need a professional.
A professional?
Is it?
Me? Who wants lunch?
That's what Joel's been hired to do for us.
Where'd everybody else?
In the front, they're upset because it doesn't look great for the neighbors. It's in a state of disrepair. And in the back, they can't use the space for themselves.
It was advertised as a low-maintenance backyard, and we've kept it a low-maintenance backyard. I guess over the years, the patio stones have really deteriorated. It's sloping off to one side. There's an old tree stump that we neglected to get rid of.
This looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass. The first order of dirty business,
Hey, nice.
a site survey.
Checking out my chest. There you go.
Yeah.
Our chief designer, Lauren, is here to help, to write down some important
right across.
figures and take a few snaps.
Okay. Now we have to take some photos.
Okay.
This is where the magic begins. Not exactly a fashion shoot,
Oh my
but
God.
needing a wardrobe change anyway. I honestly don't know why you're seeing this. Avert your eyes. It'll be over soon. So, back to Desmond and Janet's place.
So we're trying to create an interesting entrance here.
Maybe like some nice arc, type of
Oh, that'd be nice.
action going just to soften the whole front yard.
Well, maybe this could be some sort of a wall.
Actually, you know what would be great is if we could carry this detail of the arc wall onto the asphalt.
Great idea.
I think our kids will definitely be using it to run around or to do some balancing on the top of that arcway. It's only 18 inches off the ground. What could happen?
The backyard? This is the practical, everyday space.
I think you have to call it what it is as far as a
courtyard.
Yeah. But maybe we can do some interest across here and making a room type of feeling.
It'd be nice to add some architecture here because the views there aren't very pretty. There's a house right here, and then the garage, and then their house, and then there's another house here. It's all quite crammed in, so it'd be nice to give them something to frame them.
We're thinking screens of 6x6 cedar, inset with tempered sandblasted glass.
Usually we're using them as partitions,
Right.
block. Maybe this way we could have it as
So they walk
viewing
through sort of
areas.
a corridor, and it
Yeah.
becomes like an architectural feature they walk
Yeah.
through. The usable space is 15 by 18, so that's like the size of a nice sized living room. So you can make nice space in there, I think.
Yeah, nice room for a patio. Another thing the client is interested in addressing is the green issue. They are composters, which is great to see.
That's
Sorry,
interesting.
let me repeat that. They do composting, which is great to see.
We're all composters.
We are, at the end of the day.
We've been giving our compost to our neighbors, and now we'll actually be able to use our own compost, and hopefully that means we'll have an even better garden.
It's nice to see people growing their own vegetables and enjoying them. They also have rain barrels, which are great for recycling water. They're interested in putting in trees that ultimately will cause shade, which will keep the climate cool.
Our first impression was like, wow, it was really quite impressive from an artistic point of view. Most of the ideas that Joel has come up with, we've gone with.
I love it. I think it could be just a beautiful little garden.
I agree.
Yeah.
I guess my hesitation is just the mess that this place is going to be in a couple days.
Did someone say mess? 2 tiny urban spaces, 1 big rip out. A real if you know what I mean. Next on the stump, that big old stump. Kinda looks like a molar. Ugh, I can almost feel it coming out.
That part of it's supposed to be staying.
At least that was the plan.
Joel? Yeah. How much of the driveway stand here?
If you have to screw it up, we'll get a re-asphalted by Sal, but I don't think you'll be able to do it this year because he's running out of time.
Oh, okay. Get it out. Killed it. Oopsie.
Oh, I hope not. Whew. Finally, here it comes. Compared to the back, the front yard's been a piece of cake. But we're not totally in the clear. Just how are we going to green this place up?
Hey, Kennedy, how you doing? So the front yard, we're trying to soften the view out. Thinking a nice cluster of like 4 service berries or pears. Like pears might be really good, actually.
And it makes their house kind of recessed from the road.
It'd be really kind of neat to do some beech here that could be clipped into a cube. I'll squeak in a nice focal here, just again, softened by the door.
Yeah. And it also blocks this house out.
The backyard is definitely simpler than the front.
Yeah.
At the back is a brick wall with a window.
Right.
So I think that a tree that has some nice height, so it gives us an opportunity to do something interesting, like some nice astilbe or something that can handle shade and give them a little bit of flower. Actually, I think that would be a good idea. For this area, I'm thinking 2 standard trees in here again, because I feel like if you did an evergreen or you did the columnar, that's it.
You wouldn't even see the panels anywhere. It wouldn't show off or anything.
Yeah. So
no, I think for sure it's got to be standard.
Yeah.
Things could still change dramatically, even at this stage of the game. Better talk it through one final time with Janet and Desmond.
The driveway is going to be a continuation of the arc stone wall. You guys are going to have this integration of these 2 arcs coming together. And the driveway is going to be 2-tone with asphalt and Belden paver.
And is this the area where the ledge rock wall is going to be that we've been talking about?
Yep, exactly. They're just laying.
That's what's going to give our house curb appeal.
A joke. And our segue to the action out back.
It's looking good. If we start with this area here as to what's happening, this is really the focal because of our privacy screens. And then we're going to have your nice upper patio here with your soon-to-be vegetable patch. And then we're looking to get a bit more privacy. So I think we spec'd originally a standard serviceberry, which is a mid-sized tree shrub, great interest through every season. We have some just sort of the barbecue decking area that will just be built right on top because the drainage is working out great. Then we'll have our patio going across here, just sort of delineating the space. Again, hopefully we can move this guy. It will mean that you guys will have to sacrifice a bit of your upper deck if you're comfortable with that. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to remove that post? Yeah, 6x6 pressure treated post. Couldn't be more ugly.
4 screens going here?
Yep.
All each glass?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, obviously you want this out of here then.
Yeah.
Okay, well ideally where do you want the post?
Anywhere back here.
Okay. We can move this post back, but we have to put one on the house. Against the house to support that.
That is a 10 times better answer than I thought I was going to get.
So now that the deck is dealt with, the office empties for a field trip to the stone quarry. It's all business.
Oh, I love this, eh? The lava pour.
Can you guys all stand in front of it so I can't take a picture of it?
Hold on. Let's see, 203 is what I weigh. Look at that. It's like right on.
They have a lot here.
I know, they have a lot here. I don't think we've seen nicer wire-thin flagstone in for a long time.
Sometimes I wish it wouldn't weather so gray, though. I love that, you know?
I was just gonna say, this will weather to the gray color. Like this is always wanted.
Yeah.
Over time.
We gotta be careful when we're using this stuff because you got iron deposits and it's not really apparent when you're installing it. All of a sudden you get this in a year and they want to jack the stone out.
I think that's a common example of people like wanting it to be like an interior. Exactly. But that's the beautiful thing about natural stone outside. It has these imperfections.
Imperfections and all, this stuff is going to rock on the front walk and rear patio. Now, for the arced wall out front.
This is 2-inch and this is 8-inch. They'll probably wind up with like a 4-inch stone somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
so I think it'll be beautiful by the time the guys get done chipping it.
every stone is going to be curved. It's not they're stacked like this, a whole bunch of straight lines, and then it becomes a curve. They curve, chisel every one of the stones.
And to stop from going mad, even our guys use a template.
It makes for nice, clean lines. This is not an inexpensive stone, so when you're investing money like that, you want to do it right.
This is the template for the curve because it's a double-sided wall, so there's going to be an inner and an outer curve. So you work your way across the top of the stone, mark the sides, and then flip it and match the corners.
And this has to be done for every single piece of this flagstone. And it's 1.5 tons of chiseling. To even out the grade in the backyard, we're compacting screening before laying the stone. Nothing like an even walking surface.
We're gonna lay it down upside down, and we'll flip it over into position. Flip 1, 2.
It's as if you can't see the forest for the posts.
I'm just trying to figure if the scale's gonna be a little too heavy. This is where I usually hold back a bit.
It's time for feedback from the Brain Trust.
I put my staircase
I haven't been there
on
since
the weekend.
What was that?
Had a hernia.
I almost gave myself a hernia on the weekend too. I can't remember what I was doing.
Well, funny enough, I was there.
And
it was bizarre.
That's way too much information.
So, let's get back on track.
I'm gonna ask you to go and take a look at the posts and tell me what you think.
We want to look at the posts. Because it looks like a forest, and they don't look like they have any rhyme or reason until they're finished. That's what, and so there's often
I actually think they're gonna create a really nice feeling of the upper patio being a really nice room.
An outdoor room? I could see it if those posts weren't in the way.
Des said, oh, I don't know about that. Can we change our minds? These posts were a bit shocking to him at first.
To help soften the change, we've saved the fence.
So we suggested a nice black stain would really help to kind of blend it into the background, and I think it's really doing that. It looks kind of neat.
Nice to know we're somewhat on track, because this small project is surprisingly large. I don't know, still looks like a lot of toothpicks. But something else has got me uneasy.
They want to meet today.
About?
I don't know. I don't like it when clients want to meet midway through a project. Everything's been going peachy. I don't know.
It would be really bad to change the design direction now. Turns out it's only a composting 911.
I've done nothing.
We're all composters.
We all, at the end of the day. We have these awesome rolling composters, which, as Desmond is telling me about, it's great for speeding up the process.
Yeah, they work better because when you turn them around, it oxygenates the process, and composting is an aerobic process.
Did someone say aerobic? So, Lauren's got time for the gym?
And you guys are doing a vegetable patch, so it's going to be tomatoes, right?
Yeah, organic tomatoes.
Organic?
Our fresh compost.
There you go. So we're off.
When you have 3 kids, you need 2 composters.
Well, things really are coming semicircle, as can be seen with the new parking pad. And speaking of round objects,
they're pretty big balls. They're pretty big balls here, which is great because it always means we have a nice, healthy root system in those balls. Yeah, good balls. Oh, my back. Thanks, Leo. Oh, my back. Thanks, Chris. I'm not sure about these guys. Those Acer Janellas, they're a little too small. So anyways, I like
you're planting a big stick right now.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Peter, it's Joel. The Acer Janellas are just a little too Charlie Brown Christmas tree-like. So do you have anything bigger? The ferns actually, I think, go in the top left corner, but the grasses go into the back. Putting the evergreen yew hedge in is an easy, cheap fix, a lot less expensive than building a nice cedar screen. Whoever services it will also need access to it, so it's easier to get at. So there's 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you guys just want to get a picture of the crew getting really mad at me because I asked them to take it off the truck, put her on the truck, and now I've asked them to take it back off the truck. Hi, Desmond. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
The plants just were delivered, but 2 of the trees for the backyard showed up. They were just too small, so I sent them back. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that we'll be waiting a few more days for the trees that are going in the planters in the backyard.
Okay, no problem.
For between those still imaginary screens in the backyard, we've got just the right thing.
There's a chartreuse green Japanese maple, and with the black stone and everything, it is an unbelievable color combination. So it might be a little tight with the glass screens, but I think we can make it work.
Seems like we've been here forever, and there's still a ton to do. Finishing touches to the stonework, lighting, even more woodwork, and the driveway needs a fix-up after all. The tinier the yard, the bigger the challenges.
The supports are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We've planned it well.
And I see screens.
This is tempered glass. It's the kind of stuff you see in hockey rinks. Tim's going to have it solid on all sides, so there's no chance of any harm or any worry with the children.
The tempered glass finally going in means we can call our stylist Lisa to help give the backyard a fresco appeal.
So no doubt this is a dining patio. The kids will be playing out here as well. So
Not much room to lay in terms of, where to put things.
That's, I would say, your biggest challenge here is that, again, there's still, I think, a lot of kids' toys to come out.
Maybe we'll tell the kids to go minimal with their toys. But what we can play around with are things that can be easily moved around by the homeowners.
Yeah.
And to change around to make it more interesting. Very low maintenance. Honey, can you light the candle? Okay.
We've got light. How about seating?
Oh, this is a way better fit. But this would be nice. It's round. It'll go great.
Couldn't agree more.
That came together all right. When people come up to a front yard and they're coming into your house, the first thing they see is the garden. It's hugely important. So try and make it sing.
When you start off with a big job like that, I don't think you know what you're going to have or see at the end, but how it all works together has been a pretty neat thing to watch.
And whether it's professionally designed or by a homeowner, you can go out and buy an inexpensive urn, plant it up through every season, or a piece of art, sculpture. These are focals. They're attainable by everybody to varying degrees, and they give interest. There's different ways of doing this. If you're on a budget, this wall could have been out of yew.
Absolutely.
So there's some nice options for there.
Gives them a beautiful view out of the front window too, which is really nice.
Get away from that traditional foundation planting up against the house.
The one element that I enjoyed the most, it's the stonework. I really enjoyed just walking up from my car, going up the steps one way, or if I need to pick up the groceries in the trunk, I can walk around the walkway to the other. It almost seems like it's bigger than the actual space is.
Honestly, I think it's the most creative front yard we've done. It's a beautiful urban little lot. It is bang on. Amazing in what you can really do to achieve, something like this.
Appeal.
Curb appeal.
Yeah.
So can we see the backyard?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, I heard there's more to this job.
The backyard with the tempered glass and the structures, it's like an extra room to our house.
You want to try and do things different, but I think it's the kids. Because they had kids, I thought they'd want to see in there. I didn't want to make them feel walled off, but I wanted to have something different and unique, so therefore the screens.
You would have never considered sitting in the back before. Now that we almost have an extra room back there, I think we will be spending a lot more time there.
They're not really screens. Like from the house looking out, they don't screen off. They screen the angles when you're back here.
And that's where the privacy was needed,
Yeah,
it really is cool.
Great clients that were on the same page as far as the green issue is concerned. They were into composting.
For a very small garden, the compost, they're very innocuous. You hardly see them, but
Absolutely.
they're still there.
Black on black.
They wanted a vegetable garden, all these things. And plant material. We installed a lot of beautiful plant material that's going to be great for the environment.
And these service berries make a great backdrop to this brick facade behind us.
We got great plant material. They came in nice, big, and beautiful.
What is this Japanese maple? Is it a
It's just a green standard.
Also, the dogwoods in there, they look amazing. The very dogwoods, because it lightens up that little space beautifully.
I think Joel and the guys really did a great job identifying what we needed and what we wanted. The front might be a little bit more bold than we actually are, but that's okay, because it's okay to be different and to have something that you really like.
Well, I would say it's privacy in an urban setting. We can still see our neighbors, but we have our own little space.
Nice work, guys.
Great going.
Beautiful. Great team.
Great going, man. Great going.
Excellent.
Let's all have a keep it
I think we should get back to the drinks.
What traumas do you think you're repressing from your childhood?
Oh my God, you don't even want to know. Lots. This is better than being on the couch.
Ron, what the hell should I do? Personally, with my life.
You know, I'm freaking paranoid, man.
I've only had one lesson.
The other guys just look at me like you're a jackass, so I'm just talking to myself. Man, my parents. And
Everybody else. What's going on?
I just feel so f***ed up.
It's not just a show about landscaping.
Don't you feel a little weird right now? I don't care.
It's about marriage.
It should be noted that my wife said if I did this, she'd kick my ass.
It's about love.
Are we getting married?
It's about men.
Marcus, we know you're excited, but...
And it's about a kick-ass backyard.
Wow.
Oh, man, that is unbelievable.
My name is Kennedy. I'm a landscape designer. Look at this lawn. I'm a big fan of modernism, which brings me to my latest project. Not modern now, but it soon will be.
It was looking a bit dirty and dated, and it really didn't reflect what we thought was their personality.
Christine and Frank considered this dated space to be their summer escape.
In the summer, we live in the backyard.
So we want to give them a hip, modern oasis that makes it seem like they're not even in the city.
The funny part was I was showing Kennedy, I cut out magazines, man, I'm the biggest magazine buyer there is. So then I'm showing Kennedy, he goes, hey, we did that one. I said, really? That's my favorite one.
I really like the modern aesthetic. You know, form follows function. There's no nonsense, clean lines. That's why I'm really looking forward to this job.
I think finding a client that's willing to go in that direction is exciting for them.
Someone who's done their research, knows what they want, that is rare.
We want to get married in the house.
But frig, I don't know if we're going to be done in time for this wedding. Happily, I won't be doing this job alone. These are my business partners.
There's this little thing where James called me. He's like, dude, you gotta shave my head.
The guys are great, and they were very straightforward.
This is just kind of how it works around here.
It also saves $12.50 plus tip at the barber.
And they came up with a nice design that we didn't find bizarre.
It should be noted that my wife said if I did this, she'd kick my ass.
They kind of read us very well.
What are you gonna do?
The design is actually something that Lauren and I cooked up.
What the hell's that noise?
La, la, la.
Do you want to get the lower back too?
Okay, you know what? No, I don't want to do that.
Thank God we don't bring clients back to this office.
When you look out this yard now, besides the pool, it's just interlock from the 70s or 80s, and this pressure-treated fence, which really just feels like it's a Berlin Wall closing it in.
Yeah,
it's not real.
The interlock has been there for way too long. It's done, and it looks like a parking lot. The client can't stand unnatural materials, and she does not want to use interlock because it's a concrete product. They want to use natural materials like flagstone. And we need to get more greenery back there because it has no tranquility whatsoever. They also need a place to lounge. Right now, this is the only place they sit. Is right outside the kitchen. Taking that shed out of that area, look how much room that is. Frank and Christine would like the backyard to play off the modern lines of their house, which right now is a total construction zone.
And we're roughing it.
We're roughing it?
Hopefully our design will tie into the interior reno, the showpiece of which is a 24-foot glass window being shipped from Germany. It's going to look really cool.
We couldn't find some of the products that we wanted locally. We would see them in magazines, right? But they weren't available locally.
Because the entire back of the house is going to be glass, this yard has got to look amazing, no question. Lauren and I have come up with a great plan that addresses Frank and Christine's desire for a modern backyard. The pool stays where it is, but we'll move the shed and replace it with a clean line structure to maximize patio space. We'll paint the fence, replace the interlock with black flagstone, and then we'll add lots of plants to soften it up.
We kind of appreciate the clean lines, I'd have to say. It's like, what'd you call it, flair? Like a certain flair, a certain creativity that you don't really see too often.
The plan is in motion. Today the shed's gonna come down in the backyard. We gotta move the pool equipment and the gas line. I don't think anything will happen. Well, James, this thing hits it. Is there anything to happen to it?
To the pool here?
Yeah.
Well, as long as the gas is disconnected. You can see right here the valve's turned off, so.
Man, that was lucky.
Ready? Okay, go.
You know, when you see this kind of destruction, it's hard to believe there's going to be a wedding here in a few weeks.
Voila! The wedding. What's the date of that again?
4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks from now. A wedding here in 4 weeks. We better get this job done or it'll be love on the rocks. So when I'm away next week and you're running this project?
I'm away half the week too.
Oh yeah, great. Lauren, when we're away.
All right.
This is the shed, and this is what it's going to look like. I just did it just to give them an idea, a sense of feeling what this whole space is going to feel like.
The scale of it.
The shed's going to have a decorative arbor coming off the front that visually connects it to the pool, fence, and other elements to unify the entire yard.
Kennedy, the materials here for the arbor, is this
is H-beam,
right?
And it's going to be inset in the inside of the beam with Ipe, the wood.
Okay.
Ipe is a Brazilian walnut that's great for outdoor projects. And the man who's going to put it all together is Tim, our construction carpenter. I made this really intricate model on the weekend.
Sweet. No two jobs are the same. You come to the next place, you really have to scratch your head and go, how am I going to get there? They draw it on paper. It's really easy. Get on the site. They leave a lot of it to us saying, make it happen.
And while Tim gets started on the shed, our stonemasons are doing their thing. We're using 2 different types of stone for this project. And to achieve the modern look that the clients are after, we're laying them in an offset pattern. The black stone will really make the blue pool stand out like a jewel. Fortunately for Christine and Frank, the pool standing out, at least right now, is a problem.
The one thing we did notice that has nothing to do with the design is that we lost our pool. We weren't supposed to lose our pool.
Mm-hmm. That upset her
But it
very
has nothing to do with the design.
So I went there and talked to her a minute. Can I swim in my pool while you're building my landscape?
Yeah, most people shut it down.
Yeah, oh, totally. You cover it over so no rocks or anything goes in it or anything. So she wanted it open.
This is the pressure of the wedding, man.
He's as cool as
Do you remember how crazy your wife was when you got married?
Yeah.
And my wife? And your husband?
You're having a wedding in a month. If you can't use your pool for a weekend or two, so be it. What's more important? They're getting married in the backyard, so it has to be done.
And when are they doing the stripping on the shed?
This week.
Is it going to be this week? Oh, cool. Because I must say, because they're getting married, and when I was there last week, I was kind of shocked at the kitchen and the interior of the house is completely empty. And
Do you think they're really getting married?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Are we getting married?
I think yesterday, 2 days ago, we said no, but now we decided that we're back on, right?
I believed it for a while until now I'm like,
I bet you 20 bucks right
it was
now.
a ploy.
I'll bet you 20 bucks, there's no wedding at the house.
20 bucks or not, we vowed to get this backyard done in 6 weeks. When you walk into this backyard, it's got to feel this open, kind of uncluttered feeling. It's got to feel back to feeling like a garden again. And it's clean lines with this organic shake pool, so the pool is going to stand out way more. Behind that, there's going to be an arbor because any vertical structures instantly draw your eye. And as backdrop to it all is a black stained fence. We're making the most of what's there. But definitely one thing we've got to add are some plants.
Here's the planting scheme for Albanese, Kennedy.
Yep.
We're trying to give it a more of a warm, cozy feeling in a sense of it's quite a harsh environment now. There's so much patio around this pool. In fact, that's all there is pool, patio, and fencing, and it really needs some softening up. So it'd be nice to have some plants right outside the window that look over the pool, just to give it a more tropical feel if we can in this climate.
Against the pool always makes everything kind of a little more lagoony feeling to it, you know? Yeah, Carex.
Carex we love.
Yep.
That's a very hardy, durable plant that grows well in center shade.
Yep.
And it would look great with another perennial mixed in with it.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a flower, so you gotta add a little bit of flowers in there.
And Liatris or gay feather, which is a common name, would be a great addition to the Carex.
Because even the leaf of that looks kind of Carexy, so the Carex will look like it's actually the one flowering.
The retaining walls has to be cheered up and greened up.
Yeah, and just with a tall shrub or something in there.
Right, maybe we'll put something that's a fairly common plant, false spirea or Cerberia, which would be good for that area, because it's an area where they're not going to go a lot, because I don't think they're really going to be gardeners.
They just want a great entertaining space, you know. So, and then a couple high plants maybe in front to hide a little bit more of that fence there.
Right, a large shrub or a small ornamental tree against the fence, just to soften the harshness along the edges.
Yeah, should be good, be great.
I've got a good feeling about this backyard.
Tim was there, and I walked in, and a welded I-beam, when you looked at the end, was like this.
No. Well, I used to have a good feeling about this backyard.
You see it's right about there, that's perfectly level.
You know what, I can see the line on your level is perfect, and the line in the middle of that thing's
a twist.
You never want to give guys bad news about their workmanship, but as soon as I walked in, I'm like, that beam's not square.
So it starts off level at H-beam, then it torques out.
So that's from the welding?
No.
It was just the way to ride. So it has to be taken down.
So it chose a crooked piece of steel.
It's perfect here. It's funny. It's on automatic. It's a twist coming out of the mill.
She'll see it and go, take it off. In 2 seconds.
Did she notice?
No, she didn't notice.
Oh, okay.
He noticed when he came home.
Right. So what has to happen now? It has to come down?
Well, it's one piece that's 6 feet, so he has to cut the weld off and get another one and weld it back on again.
Yeah.
We can't let the welding stand in the way of the wedding, so we're just gonna have to solder on.
Between 9 and 10:15, there's a power outage. The entire block.
The street has been plagued by power outages, which isn't exactly helping Christine's swimming pool.
I saw frogs yesterday in the dock.
No way. Saw frogs?
Looks like they want to move it. It's starting to look like a swamp.
It is looking a little murky.
Well, that's what happens when the pump's not going. It's not being filtered.
Okay.
Today's challenge requires an entirely different kind of power, so leave the worrying to us.
Good, that's what we'll do. Yes, dear.
Yes, sir. Today is all about softscape, plant material. It's all going in with a little manpower.
It's sort of daunting when I first get here. There's just a massive greenery.
I changed the Champsy to Moorhex. Moorhex is an ornamental grass, and we're putting it next to the pool to give the backyard a kind of lagoon vibe.
Liatris, gay feather.
The Liatris is also going beside the pool in a mixed bed with Carex. We're putting 6 dogwoods in front of the fence and filling the existing beds and the retaining wall with a variety of flowering perennials. To see any of these plants, Christine needs her 24-foot glass window, and we're still really not sure where it is.
We're still hoping on that. We're waiting for a phone call from Germany.
We've lost a couple days through hydro interruptions down the street, and then Monday we didn't get any hydro in the house. So yeah, we're set back about a day and a half.
A few weeks ago, it became obvious to us that we had to have a backup plan. So we have a place where we're going to have a reception, but we're still hoping that we can have a reception at home after the church and before dinner.
Look at this harbor, man. It's like furniture, this thing. Greg. That workmanship is unbelievable. That's awesome, man. This is the type of yard that I would own if I could afford ourselves. I can't afford ourselves. You know what? It's kind of hard to tell now because plants just go in and they're not filled in. But when they fill in, this place is going to be spectacular. Like the grasses here, they'll be about this high. You know, and it's all irrigated, so these things will grow no problem. It's just, you'd love it to be instant, but that's just the nature of our industry. We do now what's supposed to be amazing later on. People have this notion that pool water will kill plant material, but if pool water killed plants, every job we've ever done with pools, we be replacing all the plants, and they don't because we still know a lot of the clients that have the pools, and eventually these plants get so big, like each one will be like this, that it's all root, and there's not an issue for stuff splashing in.
No, we don't mind splashing on the plants, but Frank wants to stay dry while he's barbecuing outside.
How the heck are we gonna get it up there? Okay, can you go to the truck and get the 2 2x4s, the drill, while I stand here and ponder the impossible? Go towards you now.
A nice seal.
You gotta hear her voicemail to me.
Oh my God, it's absolutely incredible, Kennedy. I can't believe the difference.
Yay! But our take on outdoor modernism isn't done yet. This backyard needs a little more eye candy.
We really just need to bring in furniture, dining area, lounge area. Do they do a lot of entertaining, or is it more intimate?
There's no children living here, so it's kind of for them.
Well, definitely there's a lot of dark colors going on. I would bring in something light, whether with the materials white or colors.
Right.
I would love to see either a square or rectangular table, maybe with a thick glass top so you get the nice green edge.
Kind of goes off the pool too. The only thing with me with outdoor furniture, I don't like to clutter places up, but how much furniture can I stick in this area? It's like, you gotta leave the space. The space is like as important as kind of filling these spaces.
This space actually lends itself to being very zen. So next time I see you, we'll probably have it all done.
Yeah, right on.
But there's one more thing this backyard needs before it can host a wedding.
When are the doors coming in?
She doesn't know, man.
That's actually a nice modern look too. Press boards.
It's a painted
A lot of architects are using that now.
Hurricane proofing.
Hurricane proofing.
Now Lisa just has to find the finishing touches and we can take care of business. Dirty business.
This better be good. Wow. Oh man, that is unbelievable. Look at that.
This is great.
What a modern genius.
I think this one, my favorite part is the before and after of it all.
I think the results are better than what we expected.
Yeah, that pavilion is it's really beautiful.
I think the arbor, even though in your mind you picture it the way it's gonna be, you swear it's not gonna be that perfect.
That is the nicest beam we've ever done.
I think so.
It really is.
Cool. Look at the heaters.
This is the Beam Award here, buddy.
Look at the heaters.
The Arbor Award. Where are the heaters?
The black things.
That is unbelievable, man.
Overhead heaters will allow Frank and Christine to dine outside well into the colder months. And the clean lines blend perfectly with our modern arbor.
We have to learn to call it the pavilion rather than the shed.
Yeah, we don't know what to call it actually. Is it the shed now? Is it the pavilion? The pavilion doesn't seem right.
It seems
either,
a little
right?
pretentious.
You know what? The existing stone wall, it blows my mind. Just because it's such a rough and old kind of part, and it was existing as well, and now it seems like it's part of this whole yard in kind of a weird way. It gives a little bit of age to the garden too. The door was ordered before we started, and there was a comment that sometime during this job she said, "I can't believe you guys are finished, and I don't have the door still."
You know, the backyard was ready on time.
Yeah.
And the day after the wedding, we actually had a few people over. They couldn't go in the house, but the backyard was ready.
I love the whole boxiness feeling. I love it in houses. I love it in design. I love just the walls, everything. Like, I love that boxy kind of look.
People are often afraid to put posts and stuff in their garden because they think it's going to block the view, and actually it ends up enhancing.
Because it draws your eye up.
That's right.
Before you never looked up, you just looked at whatever was on the ground.
It's like framing a picture, really.
Cathedral. Tree cathedral.
I had no idea how much was involved in putting stone in.
It's the first thing that goes in the yard. It's like all the hardscaping, which is stone, wood, fencing. Anything that's not plant material is considered hardscaping. And people think they've pretty much bought a quarry. The idea of garden isn't stonework only. It's plant material, trees, shrubs, flowering. So when the plants go in at the end, everybody has a sigh of relief because they go in so quick that it makes it feel like instantly a garden again.
There's a better distribution of plant material as our
gardeners slash designers call it.
And Kennedy, the color of the fence too. It's really makes it,
Yeah, but it makes it chic.
I'm kind of the type of person that doesn't like complacency with design, where everything so works together so perfectly, and then all of a sudden have something that makes you not so comfortable, like the red planters. Like you come back like it's supposed to be all monochromatic, and all of a sudden there's that color. I love that. The whole thing with this project was the deadline, which I wish I could never take on another deadline like that again. But, probably will, because I want to do the job because it's fun.
Yeah, nice job, though.
You guys just gotta fix that.
The hump thing? The fence is supposed to have that wave in it. Did you know that?
Oh, it's a wave fence. Good try.
No, I already talked to her all about it. We're going to replace just the top board, because see how it's kind of broken up there?
Right.
So they're just going to put one new one in.
Okay.
But we can't push it back.
I was trying to convince them that it's supposed to be like that, but they didn't buy it. And
I said,
but they were good.
I just said a whole bunch of vines. Put more vines on it.
That's right.